Welcome back to the Conspiracy Outpost. Tonight we have a special guest joining our congregation of comedic conspirators. Join us as we pick the brain of novelist, screenwriter, and director of one or two movies. We'll get into that later. Eric Bickernicks. I'm your host, Joseph.
I'm Casey.
Patterson footage, etc. Right, okay.
Beautiful. How you doing?
Cryptids, hey, how you doing? All right, so I heard Mike and Joseph. We got Mike and Joseph, right?
Yes.
Casey's, who else is here? So just you two guys, right? Then Casey desktop, right?
Yeah, just
Okay,
just the three. We normally have another person, but
right.
more flaky than not. So.
Cool. So hey, how's life?
Oh yeah.
So, all right, so where are you guys? You guys are sitting obviously on the West Coast.
Oh yeah.
Were you guys?
Yes.
Where are you guys near? San Diego or something, or
Northern California.
no? Okay, way up there. All right.
Yeah.
And I'm located in Las Vegas,
Okay.
Nevada.
All right, so we're all over the place.
Yeah, a little bit there.
All right, cool.
All right.
That's pretty cool. So I just how did you stumble upon our show?
Yeah, no, I've got a list of 300 conspiracy podcasts. Yeah, there's a lot out there, and you guys were the first one. So yeah,
Oh, nice.
Oh, nice, beautiful. That's awesome. Yeah, I was wondering. I was like, oh, cool. Someone actually reached out to us to be a guest. I was like, usually it's hard to get someone to come on and emailing them 100 times and nobody responds.
I mean, we've gotten Mark Sargent on twice.
Yeah, that's true. He's a good guy.
yeah, no, I've done this. So yeah, 5 years ago on the first book, I went through all this. Yeah, no, podcast. Yay! I'll whore myself out to anybody. Yeah, I'll you know.
Oh man,
Yeah,
well, we
sure.
appreciate you.
And I don't even care how many people are listening. Yeah, whatever. This is you got to do it. I mean, as an author, I could be sitting at a library now with 3 people in the audience, trying to pitch, a book. So if it's more than 3, well, look at that. I got 3. I got more than 3. Yeah.
Well, you got 3 right here, right now. So.
Well, that's good. There you go. We'll amuse ourselves then. Cool. So what do you guys do? All right, so you got in Las Vegas, up there.
Yes, sir.
What do you guys do for a living? I'm basically, by the way, yeah. So I'm basically a old filmmaker guy. Been doing editing. I've been writing scripts my whole life. By the way, I'm 61. A nice old guy. Yeah, I've been researching this stuff for a long, reading all about it, watching everything turn into folklore. Bigfoot, UFOs. Yeah, for 40 years, ever since a kid, back in high school.
Nice.
1975 or something.
What intrigued you about it originally?
Well, yeah, it's cool, right? It's like, whoa, wow, yeah, man, look at that, yeah. Now I'm fully skeptic, old grumpy skeptic guy. But I remember when I was, 16, like, oh, cool, man, yeah. I remember there was like I said, they shot the Bigfoot Patterson footage. He saw it in '67, right? There was a documentary that came out to the theaters around '75, and I saw it as I think a 12-year-old, and I was like, "Whoa, yeah, oh my God, look at that's a real Bigfoot right there, yeah, well, yeah, I've just seen it, all of that evolve. I remember when I was in high school, there was like, if you wanted to read about UFOs, there were 5 books. You had 5 books, Lubbock Lights, you had, and that was it. And now that's changed. And I've just watched it grow for, 40 years, 45 years. So, yeah.
Nice.
Nice. That's amazing.
Well, getting old, yes. Yes, it is amazing, isn't it, that I'm 61? Yes, correct.
Hey,
Hey,
Yes.
that's still young. That's still
yeah,
young.
61's the new 51. So,
No,
yeah.
exactly. No, yeah. Yeah, we can go to old guy stuff. Yeah. I'm just curious, how old are you guys?
I'm 29.
I'm 30.
30. Okay, so all right.
32. So I guess roughly around 30 and a
Yeah.
quarter.
All right, so you probably yelled at kids, 20-year-olds to get off of your lawn, or
Yeah.
Cool. All right.
Casey, you started recording, right?
Yeah, yeah, we're
Done, boys.
going.
Oh, Jesus.
Hi, amateur hour.
I don't know. I've been a little off today.
All right.
It has happened before though. We've gone through like an hour of recording. I'm like, oh, you guys are gonna hate me. I didn't press the button.
Oh, I did hate you. I was like, "You're kidding," and he goes, "I'm not kidding." I was like, "God damn it!"
I think it's happened twice,
Yeah.
2 or 3 times.
And then
now.
once you try to redo it, like the spontaneity's gone. It doesn't
Right.
flow right.
Right, so the first 2 minutes of the show is going to be me going testing. You're gonna edit, I hope, right?
So, has anybody ever told you sound kind of like Rodney Dangerfield?
Yes, I do. We're a tough crowd. We're a tough crowd here. Oh, yeah. Oh, my God. My wife, she was, yeah, exactly. I got that when he was alive. So now that's,
wow.
So,
That's
yeah.
great. He's one of my favorite comics.
Yeah.
I think he is my dad's favorite comic.
Yes,
I grew up
well,
with that stuff.
Well, I guess it's safe to say at the end of this podcast, we're all getting laid, right?
All right. Oh. You're
Good old
right.
So you said you worked in Hollywood as a writing scripts or a script editor?
No, in my own little Boston area here. No,
Okay.
in my 20s, I was hoping to move to LA, and I went, LA sucks. I'm not moving here.
That's understandable. It does suck.
Yeah. Right. So now I've been in Boston doing my own, corporate shit, But my claim to fame is that my first book I turned into a film script, and it got past 6,000 other entries at the Academy. What is it? It's a film script festival where they give you if you can make it to the final round. It's called the Academy. The Academy, right? Academy Award, the Academy has a film script thing where if they like it, they actually let you in to Hollywood. They're like, okay, we like this guy, this kid. I forgot the name of it.
Really wish we had Nate on. He's our film guy, and he would have known.
He does animation and stuff.
Yeah, I did all that. Yeah, I've done all that. I make a living with After Effects. I've done animation.
Nice.
Three. So what do you guys do?
I am a musician, and I also do construction on the side.
Okay. All right. What do you play?
I just do lighting work, lighting electrical, and then I do this on the side.
Yeah. Can't beat that. Just
yeah,
what do you play? Yeah. What do you play?
Oh, I play drums
Okay.
in a band. I actually just played the Hard Rock Casino like last week.
Really? Oh, okay.
Yeah.
He's also very good in the skim flute.
Hold on. You must know this joke. What do you call a guy who hangs out with musicians?
Oh, yeah.
A drummer. And what do you call a musician who's homeless? Sorry, what do you call Jesus Christ, it's 10:30 here. So what do you call a musician without a girlfriend? Homeless, right? So these are just old jokes. These are old jokes. I'm just giving off. Yeah.
Oh man. So it says on your IMDb page when you open it up that you directed alt.sex.
.sex, yeah.
What's that?
That was
Oh yeah.
that was my big attempt. That was my big fat failed indie feature that I shot and filmed and wrote myself back in 2000. This is my big chance to make, big chance to break in. And after watching Paul, Rodriguez, reading his book, and then Kevin Smith, that whole thing where he made a little crappy movie, and look what he ended up. My crappy movie, just no one gave a shit about. I liked, I liked it. It was basically about early online dating. Probably I'll stand by it technically. I had basically my friends act in it, and then that's what basically the critics harped on. It's like, you had your friends act in this, didn't you? Like, yeah. It's like, well, yeah. So,
I mean, to be fair, Kevin Smith did the same thing. He had his friends.
Precisely, yes. That's all folklore.
Not like it's never heard before.
Yeah, exactly. So it's the joke I've been making is I tried grabbing the brass ring from the carousel, and my body was thrown from it. Just splat.
Um,
When you turn 60, like, yep, yeah, that failed. That didn't work.
So you
So, so yeah, we can
oh,
go over all my regrets. Anything you want to go over? Yeah, I'll just lay it out.
I didn't. Oh yeah, I didn't know like how popular they were, so I wasn't.
Yeah, whatever. Go ahead.
So prior to that, it says you also made a film called The Can in 1994.
That was my buddy. He did it. Super 8, just horrible footage. He just shot. There was no script. Basically, we edited it. He thought it's much more impressive than I did, and basically. All right, like the claim to fame on that. Okay, all right. Here's the story on that now. We did, like I said, we were in Boston here. Jesus Christ, what's the year on that?
It says 1994.
Yeah, 94. Okay, all right. So basically, I did the editing. It was shot on. It was silent footage, right? So I had to all the sound effects, all the music for this, hour and a half thing, right? We show it. There's a theater in Boston here. Yeah, big little indie feature. Blah 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 blah. We show it. He gets it all together. He gets a crowd, right? So at the end of it, we're standing there, and the people are hanging out. Blah blah blah. How you doing? And then, I'm blanking it. The guy from Nine Inch Nails.
oh, Trent Reznor.
Trent Reznor was there, and the Nine Inch. They were doing a show that night, and they heard about this song called, the thing called The Can. They went out and saw it. So I remember, I vaguely remember this, but he came up to us and he goes, "Well, hey, that was pretty cool." He goes, "We're from the Nails." Sorry, no, Nine Inch Nails. And I went, Nine Inch Nails. Yeah, I was like, you guys do the song? Was it What's it called? There's another band called The Nails that did a song called 66 Lines about 33 women. I was like, I like that song. He goes, "No, we're in the Nine Inch Nails." So I basically pissed off Trent Reznor back in 1994, accusing him of being in this other sort of lame band that had one lousy hit. So so there you go. I actually met Trent Reznor and pissed him off back in 1994.
Wow. So are those the only 2 credits you have for film?
I had a whole bunch of shorts. I guess I flamed out early in my career here. I had a whole bunch of funny shorts that nationally made the rounds on all these shows. These early world's funniest videos shows. A whole bunch of them came out. What the hell is this? 85. Yeah, I got a whole bunch out there nationally. So I was actually seen nationally. They gave me a high. I was the first person to have a high camera, and I got a little Steadicam JR that came with it. It looked promising back in '84. But I haven't added any of that crap. I mean, my buddy set up the IMDb page. So
Oh, okay. Yeah, I just didn't know how. I'm terrible at looking up stuff online, so I just didn't know if there was any more credits to it. I did see somewhere about shorts, but I couldn't view any of them.
Right.
Yeah.
They're buried on YouTube. So
But I actually seen. So you have a book called High Strangeness and Higher Strangeness. Right. I got up to like page 70 in High Strangeness. I'm not a fast reader, and I just started it this week, but I actually enjoyed everything I read up to the point that I got, and I don't know. I like the comedy style of it, so I figured if your shorts are anything like the characters like Ken and Noodles in this book, I figured that'd be some pretty good content.
Well, the shorts are only 2 minutes, so it's just funny little comedy bits. Basically, so there's no character development or it's just visual gags basically. But the first book is I'm hammering on the folklore that has arisen around UFOs. The joke there is that while everyone's looking for the alien grays, the only thing that's interested in the real alien is the dog. As you'll see.
Yes, yeah, and I really enjoyed both the Astro, the dog. Yeah. Yes, I enjoyed.
You guys know the reference? You guys get the reference? It's an old
The Jetsons.
Yeah,
yeah.
Good, right.
And then I thought it was a interesting name for the character Noodles, because he's like a tall, lanky guy.
Yeah.
That's pretty funny, and it made me think of a time when we were like younger. One of our friends,
Right.
actually, Casey's older brother, is a tall, skinny guy, and people used. We went to this party, and everybody was calling him
Right.
Gumbo. So, or Gumby, not Gumbo.
Gumby? Oh my
And I just thought instantly. I was just trying to think of other tall, lanky names, and that's the only thing I think of was Gumby.
That dude, I can't. Every time I think of Gumby, I
used
just
to
think
call
of
him
Eddie
Adam
Murphy.
Twizzler.
Oh, Twizzler. That's right. We actually used to call his older brother Twizzler.
No, I believe the bass player for Offspring was called Noodles. So
Oh, really?
yeah, look, somebody you gotta look that up real quick, and you'll see that. Yeah, so
Yeah.
there's a guy called Noodles in Offspring. So
We actually,
That's pretty cool.
we
yeah,
had
here,
a.
let me take that. Noodles actually came from the Train Spotting. Did you guys? See
Oh,
Train
great
Spotting?
fucking movie.
Okay, yes.
Ewan McGregor plays a heroin
Yes,
heroin addict. Fuck.
his buddy, Spud.
Yeah.
Yes, I stole Spud basically. I'm basing him off of Spud, and I needed
Okay.
a name that sounded like Spud. You know, oh yeah, Doris Spud. Yeah, that's exactly. So I'm just funneling Spud from that into Noodles as the sort of flunky, sidekick that is the butt of the jokes, whatever. So yeah, Spud.
And I enjoyed his when he goes over to eat dinner at Ken's place. He's talking about Windows and just trying to sell them on the Windows, or
Yep.
was it Windows?
I really need to read this. I'm really wishing I read it because it sounds very good. I've been so busy working. I work construction in the mornings and I'm playing music at night. So
No, he sells actual windows, like Anderson windows for a company. And he was talking about what he knows about Windows. Okay, there's blah blah blah, and then he sees the dog outside. Right. Yeah.
Which is hilarious.
I'm not sure how much I could spoil it for you. Yeah, right. So yeah, no, the whole bunch of people don't like that. One reviewer gave me like, oh, no, wait a minute, this is bullshit. This is Call of the Wild. This is done in Call of the Wild, and the whole point is this is not a talking dog. I basically we head hop.
It's a POV of the dog's
Yes,
perception.
from the dog.
Yeah,
Yes.
Oh, nice.
that's what I enjoy about it.
Right. He's basically the alien is making him smarter as he goes along. So basically, you're gonna now watch the dog turn into a genius.
Yeah.
That no one knows about. And
So
that
there
is
was-
going to play into the second book. So yeah, so I'm not sure how much I can do. Do I spill it for you guys? But
Yeah, that was the Oh God, I drew a blank there.
sounds like this would make a really good TV show.
I found it funny. Yeah, because
I got the script. I have the script. Like I said, that's the script that made it past 6,000 people. I'm sure the judges went, it's a thinking dog. Oh boy, we can't. Yeah. So yeah, I stand by the script.
It sounds.
I can
Yeah.
I found it
Not-
funny because the way Astro's like 1 + 1, like one, what was it, one bone plus another bone? Oh, that equals 2, or two, something like that along those lines. I have a crappy memory.
Yes,
So.
he gets yes. So it develops from there. He's just getting started. Yeah. So I'm not sure how much I can spill, but basically, yeah, that's yeah. It's the whole joke. Well, yeah, all right. The point is, yes, there are two kinds of aliens in that book. The Greys. Well, everyone thinks that there's Greys here, and we need to find the Greys at the Air Force station. Blah blah blah. And no one's paying attention to the real alien, and that's sort of definition of an alien, right? It's like you don't recognize it as a thing or something that you can communicate with or whatever. Yeah. The joke is the aliens communicating with a dog through smell is one aspect of it.
Oh, okay, yeah.
But
Did you take?
Humans don't give a shit.
Yeah. Did you take any inspiration from any specific conspiracy stories, like popular ones or anything, when writing this book? Oh, okay.
I can go through all of them. Yeah. So, and then on the second book, basically, Alex Jones. There's a character called Zeke.
Zeke. He is hilarious, and the way he starts his radio shows / podcast when he's like true Zekers. I laugh because I'm a big fan of dad jokes.
Right. Yeah, he turns into Alec Jones in the next book. So he's
Oh,
totally crazy.
that's hilarious.
He turns into Alec Jones, and now and then he sets up his own InfoWars site, hawking bullshit prepper stuff. Blah blah blah. So yeah, so he turns into Alec Jones, and then the protagonist is like, oh Jesus, he gets a huge audience. Yeah, and we could basically go from there on that aspect anyway. But no, there's a Pizzagate, and then the start of the second book starts.
That's what I was gonna actually, because I read the first pages to the
Right.
second book before I got the big books flipped around, so I started reading the second book. So when they're at the clam
Clam crate.
There we go.
Restaurant.
Yeah, and the guy. Yeah, it's basically that's what I was gonna ask. Was this it was inspired by Pizzagate, right?
Yes, exactly. And then basically the guy called Edgar Madison Welch, I believe, was the guy who went into there, thought that there were what the hell are they saying? Like my notes are here. The child pornography, not the child, but the pedophilia ring. Yes, he needed to save the kids from the pedophilia ring.
I laughed so hard with the thing because they were talking about euthanizing quote unquote retarded puppies. That made me laugh so fucking hard because when Ken confronts him about it, was like the disabled puppies, like the retarded puppies. He had such an emphasis on the word retarded.
Oh god.
I was dying.
Thank you. My wife who read it, like, you can't say that. Like, oh, come on. Problem is, I'm trying to satirize, right? Something as fucking stupid as what happened at the Papa Pizza.
It's
when
not.
I actually thought.
That.
How more stupid can you get? And all right, retarded puppies. And I thought, that's how I do it. And this stuff is already stupid.
It gets stupider than that.
You can tell that it's satirical in nature when you read it. I thought I'd ask to make sure for sure it was like a parody of Pizzagate, which is already a parody in itself. But
there you go. Thank you. No one's reviewed this book. So I have no idea what worked. Thank you for. Yeah, I have no idea. So you guys are the first ones who are giving me positive feedback. So that's the thing, as an author, I have no idea if this is working or not. As a filmmaker, I can make something and go, all right, whoops, I shot it, right? And it's like, okay, they didn't laugh. Well, that didn't work. Let me fix it. As an author, I have no idea where the laughs are. So thank you.
Yeah. No problem. Thank you for the the retarded puppies.
If it's entertaining, it's entertaining. That's what I say. We're not the best choice of whether something is politically correct or not, because
you guys are my audience. No, you guys. You guys. Yeah.
That's what we don't say anything in a hateful nature. Everything to us is a comical.
I mean, like, we did do a Pizzagate episode that is unreleased because someone wouldn't stop making child rape jokes.
I'm laughing.
No, we laugh at it, which is like, but I'm like, there's a lot of people who don't laugh at rape.
I think it would be okay because a lot of podcasters have done those. They've all made jokes like super, like you think.
Yeah, we're laughing the entire time because it's absurd.
Yeah, like I said, we won't get canceled. We'll just have to shift our audience to more of a Ben Shapiro type direction.
Well, see, here's what's nice about being 61. I don't care if I get canceled. I don't.
Yeah,
I don't care.
I'll be 33 this year, and I know I'm not whatever, but I could care less about the whole canceled thing.
I don't understand how a generation that grew up on South Park could be so fucking, uptight. Or like I grew up watching South Park, The Simpsons, and fucking Eddie Murphy, Richard Pryor. It's
exactly.
I have a very dark sense of humor.
And the world's already dark enough. You got to make jokes when you can. That's just how it is.
I don't know. If I cared about words like retard, I think that like my life would be very depressing if that's something that upsets me. Because like, goddamn, how do you deal with actual problems?
Yeah, like I won't go out and call somebody, but you know what I'm saying, like a joke, like in a joking fashion. But I don't know. I don't know how to explain this. I don't know what I'm saying. I'm gonna spiral down a fucked up rabbit hole right now. Never mind.
Yeah, there's certain people that just react. You say the word, abortion. Oh my God, abortion. It's like, like we're talking about, we're not joking about, yes,
yeah, we're
we're
discussing. Yeah.
But they have like a knee jerk. It's like these are hot topics. Oh no, you can't do about that. You can't even mention it. I'm like, oh, all right. So yeah, there's certain people that just I don't even attempt to explain myself.
Yeah.
Just you just knee jerked it. Okay, great.
I'm looking forward to reading your books. I'm sorry I didn't read any of it before this, but
and you should
been busy. I am going on tours next month, so I'm gonna have a lot of downtime in the car. So I'm gonna read them because they sound
I was expecting
awesome.
you guys to read it. That's cool. No, cool. You read the first chapter, and then cool that you liked it.
Yeah, the second book. I got confused. I am going to finish the book. I am a very slow reader.
Yeah, honestly, like if Joe likes something that he reads, I'm gonna like it because we also like read like the same graphic novels and comics and stuff.
Well, yeah, we read a lot of graphic novels.
Well, see, in reality, I don't like much fiction because it's just fucking boring. And I came at it as a filmmaker's perspective. Like I said, I visualized it as a movie, so I just wrote it down as a novel as I saw it as a movie.
That's awesome.
And so to me, it's it's pacing. As an editor, it's like, okay, how fast? Come on, to keep the stuff going. Yes, I've gotten the classic literature, snobs are like, well, no, you need background on everything. Like, no, you don't. In a movie, you don't bother.
I mean, one of the greatest movies of all time gave you the whole background of an entire universe in a goddamn title crawl, being Star Wars. Like seriously, it did it in like a paragraph or two. And you're like, got it. Let's watch the movie now.
So the literary crowd is very much no. You're supposed to have it like this. I'm like, oh boy, And I don't give a shit.
Everybody world builds in their different ways. You're doing a subject that already somewhat exists in our culture, so you shouldn't have to create an entire fucking world from scratch.
Well, just because it's satire. I'm hammering on it's comedy. I'm hammering on characters, so I'm not gonna take a chapter to describe where Noodles grew up and no.
I mean, I read a lot of books. I enjoy it, and there's certain books that are considered beloved by so many people, and I love the stories. But like, for instance, Lord of the Rings. I really don't need to know 3 paragraphs about this fucking tree. And I don't need.
At that point, you think they just want to fuck the tree.
Well, it's like okay, come on, please move the story. We're still in the goddamn Shire, and I'm halfway through Fellowship, so it's like the movie had much better pacing. I watched the movie before I read the book, which if I read the book first, it probably would have been much better. But again, I don't care what this table or this tree looks like give me a brief description. I don't need to know everything else. Let's get this story moving.
I concur. So unfortunately, the people who are in charge, the critics are all my age, and like, oh no, you're doing this wrong, son. I'm like, oh, all right. So great. So people, your generation will then finally embrace it when I'm dead, and it's like, right, leave me a nice note on my deathbed, like, oh, by the way, you liked it.
Okay. You can put it on your. We can put it on your epitaph if you'd like.
Right.
Yeah, it's like there's certain authors that I really like because they do a lot of story content, but they don't bother with the just all out descriptions. Like Stephen King is good, but again, he falls into the trap of too much description about a single object to where it's like, okay, I just read a page about a lamp. That's awesome.
A curse lamp.
But like, but like George R. R. Martin, he'll describe like certain things in detail, but it's never a full fucking page of detail because he has so much goddamn shit going on in those books.
Right.
I won't read anything from Stephen King because he looks like a cross of a rat and the Red Skull from the Marvel comics, and I won't be having any of it.
No, but these are like championed authors, and there's just certain ones that I'm just like, I don't understand everybody's
Yeah,
appeal on this, because it is like, maybe I just don't have the patience, but I've read a
well,
lot of
yeah.
fucking books.
Yeah, no, I'm Michael Crichton would probably be someone who I'm trying to, I'm gonna say aspire to, but
Oh,
yeah, okay, Michael Crichton, yeah, get
yeah.
to the point. He got hammered about no. See, Michael Crichton is writing, basic characters, blah blah blah. Like, well, yeah, he's getting to the point. It's interesting. It's
Yeah.
a thriller, and there's a whole different mindset when you're writing a thriller, or just fast paced stuff. And I'm basically channeling that.
I don't know
Until
anything else he's done other than Jurassic Park.
yeah, well, there's a whole bunch. Yeah, well,
Yeah.
there's a joke out there online that how to write a
Oh,
Michael Crichton novel is basically you start with a scientist, add his sidekick, one woman comes in, da da da, yeah, and then things fuck up, and then yeah, it's a formula, but hey, it worked.
Yeah, I do love your like the pop culture references when Ken meets Mel when they're talking about the aliens, and he starts bringing up Game of Thrones and etc.
Yeah, well,
Yeah,
we stuck that in there.
it seems like real world like talk. Like it's not just constant. You see, so tell me about the alien. It's just that they're actually like having a full conversation.
Oh yeah, you guys sent me that snippet of them talking about intelligence with the aliens. It's one of the only parts that I read, and I thought that the dialogue in it was awesome because it's almost actual dialogue that we've had in this podcast.
Yeah, that was actually it was when Ken is on in the first book when Ken and Zeke are talking, and Ken's getting irritated. And he's waving the envelope around. It's like seriously, I got the money. Any real fans can call the show at any time and claim it.
That's a true story. That's actual. I pulled that out of fucking reality. All right, 20 years ago, I had back before when podcasts were even a thing, or even the internet. That's literally. I had a buddy who was into conspiracy theories, who did UFOs. He still does it. John Harrigan. He's done a bunch of stuff. He's my age. And he actually had this little shitty radio show because back then there was nowhere else to go.
Oh, really? Did he have the milk crate set up and everything?
I did. Literally, I just stole it from reality. But yeah, he knew I was a skeptic, right? And he was totally into. It's like, yeah, I mean, the whole conspiracy, man. UFOs. I'm like, yeah, I know all about it. I've been studying. So he had a buddy who had. Yeah, like a 100-watt radio station. And like I said, this was all well before you could. Yeah,
before
cable
podcast.
TV was out. That your only method was to get your own private radio license for like 100 watts, and you had a little AM channel that it would go out to 10 miles, right? So he called me down to the studio. I sat there, and I said, all right, how many people hear this? Like, oh no, man, this is so important, So I said, knowing that no one is going to listen, I actually stuck money in an envelope, going, no one's fucking listening to this, and I literally did it. I put up the mic and said, here, listen, here, that is the money. Just call, free money. Just call for free money.
So is the part about it? Is the part about his mother calling the line a true thing too?
No, and that was the thing. The guy who ran it, the only way they would get phone calls is their buddy would call in to feed him a question. So I knew I was watching on the other line. Okay, no, he can't call. No, I know who that guy is. And
that's hilarious.
Yeah, I mean,
it's like, don't you dare go walk to the phone.
Yes, so that just no one called. No, yeah, and the guy who was totally into it. This is completely serious, man. I could tell that. He was like, fuck you, It's like, don't point out the obvious that, no one is fucking listening to us. But hey, all right. But yeah, I was a skeptic on the show talking about, whatever UFO sighting that was at the time,
That's where the best.
So this is what helps when you're 61. You get all the stuff to draw from.
Oh yeah.
Just work it into a novel. Yeah, but yes, but thank you for noticing the dialogue. Yes, as a filmmaker, yes, that's what I do the easiest is just dialogue, and that's the first thing I write is like the dialogue. Now I have to put all the rest of the syntax around it. That's the hard part for me. Where if you're from a literary standpoint, you're like, no, I want the words to be, I want the sentence structure to be beautiful. Like, I don't give a shit about that.
Yeah, see, I felt the irritation Ken had in that whole little like thing they had, and the fact that he didn't listen to a fucking word he was saying, just aliens are
Yes.
dumb. Do you think aliens
Yeah.
are dumb?
Yeah.
And it's like, I didn't say that, and he's like trying to keep his composure, but he's just
Thank
like,
you.
Yeah,
it's like he adds more money, and then Noodles fucking rebuttals with more money
yeah.
or whatever. I got, what did he say, like $30? I don't remember what it was.
Like the low keyness and the natural like feel of that entire conversation again, because it is a conversation we have actually had on this podcast with the guy that's not here because he's a huge skeptic, and he did the same argument you did.
Yeah,
And it's like I was reading and I was like, damn, this is like super real. And I don't, in a lot of books, conversation, and even a lot of TV shows and movie conversations stiff. There's a lot, like there's two filmmakers I can think of that do conversation right, and probably the best one in my opinion being Tarantino, and then maybe like Kevin Smith does conversations good, but that's because they feel natural, because it's not, they'll be talking about nothing, but you're getting what you need out of the conversation that builds the story, even though they're not talking directly about it.
And Mike, what do you call we were talking about this, the way that Supernatural opened up. We are talking about how they just get straight into their fucking background in like a corny manner. You said it was called I was saying something about, I didn't like how it opened, but it was good after that. You said a lot of stories have a hard time. To me, it comes off corny where they explain the whole thing right out the gate, like, yeah, well, how could you expect sleep when I was trained to combat this and that? Like, they just explain their whole life right out the gate.
Yeah, it's
It just doesn't flow naturally. You're just giving an origin story to someone you grew up with. It makes
it's an exposition dump. They do it in all sci-fi movies. Like, dude, the fucking new Zack Snyder movie, which didn't like it very much. The main character's job in that whole fucking movie was just to dump exposition in every conversation the entire time.
So that's what the way that this book opens, it flows in nicely. And this is because I write short stories. It's the way I always open everything, with a conversation or something going on, and that's exactly how this opens with them
like
driving.
the conversation on the bus with the demon, that one that you wrote, that one's really good.
I've been writing for a graphic novel, but I'm not writing it in comic book form like I should be. But it starts out with a demon and the human talking on the bus while he's slamming down liquor and just like eyeing everybody, and everybody's just looking at him like he's a maniac. But yeah, the way that it opens up, it flows great, because it's just like a conversation between two buddies. They're not giving an over like explanation of it, and the fact that it's in like a POV form, the way he explains certain things, like I didn't know what a oh god, I can't remember what the word is. What the camo the camo guy was doing. He was making a
Well, he was making a crop circle. Those guys were
yeah,
making a crop circle,
and the whatever set Mandelbot man.
I'm making a Mandelbrot. So,
Yeah.
Twirly,
Yeah, and the way that they explain things, or fragmites. I didn't know what the hell that was either. But the way that you explain it in there is just it flows right. Like, it's not just forced out there like information. I'm having a hard time saying this. But,
again, I haven't.
I was
the way it opens.
Yeah, I was telling Mike before you got on, Eric, that I was like, this book opens up differently than most books. It just goes right into a conversation.
Yeah,
and I was like, and I really liked it. I was like, I really liked it because it sucks you in.
Those guys were driving to make a crop circle. Yeah, so I had a little time there to work in. Okay, where are we? We're on the Cape. We're working here. What are these guys about? And then into the action.
I enjoy that it doesn't open with, but why are you making a crop circle? You're a graphic designer. Like, why the fuck would somebody say that?
Right.
It's like,
I'm a graphic designer by day, crop circle maker by night. Fool.
Now shut up and don't put on these Sasquatch boots that I made. Which I thought was hilarious too. So Mike, you didn't read that beginning part, but he had for a different hoax that he's working on. So they record them creating hoax to be like, haha, kind of like, so.
But then they can reveal it, saying, once all the believers jump on board, they can disprove, saying, it's bullshit. It's because I have the evidence of us making a crop circle to show that you guys are wrong. So that was the whole intention.
They're trolling the conspiracy
Yes,
people.
right. Until the other guy make it also a crop circle. Yeah, screwed him up. Yeah.
There should be a chapter in the next book where it's like, dude, I totally slept with a three-titted alien, and it's like, haha, it was me all along.
That scene where he ran into that other guy making the crop circle it had me cracking up a little bit.
I thought it was funny he was shining the fucking flashlight in this piece.
Right. Run, Noodles.
I'm going to sleep nicely tonight. I mean, like I said, I get nothing. I get absolutely nothing. When you write a novel, I have no idea if it worked. My wifey girlfriend here is just sort of like, well, I suppose, because it's just not her thing. So
it's always the people.
An audience.
When you're an artist, it's always the people closest to you that they don't have the best opinions because they hear it every fucking day.
Right.
Yeah. Like,
this is not her thing, so all right. I have a theory now on exposition here. Okay, ready? I need a name for this. I think it's the Bickernicks theory of whether your sci-fi movie is shitty or not. Okay, ready?
Copyright.
Now, right. If there's a circle of elders doing exposition in your movie, in your sci-fi movie, it's not. Case in point, right now. All right, first Star Wars, right? Okay, there was a little bit of when Darth Vader came in. There was a little bit of that, a little circle of elders with what's his face who talked about it quickly, right? And we got out, right? So good movie, right? Now when you get to stuff, not that I'm hammering on. But the point is the later Star Wars, right? Major circle of elders sitting around a table doing exposition, right? I remember specifically Yoda was around. I was just like, oh my god, it's going for 10 minutes here. Telling us. So there you go. So that's if it's got lots of circle of elders because they know they just said, okay, we can just put all the dump, the exposition dump when we have them sitting around the table, And all there's a whole bunch of that in the blanket. The Twin Towers. What am I thinking?
A movie about the Twin Towers, or
no? The fucking old guy blanking here.
Are you talking like Lord of the Rings? Too the Two Towers. Yeah.
There's a lot.
I thought we were talking about the Twin Towers in New York.
No.
Can't we just mash the two? Lord of the Rings, the Twin Towers?
Right. So old guy did fart. Yeah, see, it's now coming up to bedtime, so that's why. Yeah. All right. Thank you. I was hoping, yes, I wrote this book for you guys who get all the references because there's a whole bunch of people on Amazon who are like, this is bullshit. First of all, the true believers got pissed off when it's clear that I'm making fun of them. Like, look, you guys all
but like.
And they're the ones who get a 1 star, like, it's bullshit, right? And then the people who understood it gave me there's 40% who gave me 5 stars. So yes, when I can find the audience, yay! But problem is I have to filter through the true believers, whether it's skeptics, whether it's the UFO gang.
Yeah, you can get people pissed off because they can't take a joke. They don't know it's satire. And then you got the people who can take a joke and like are watching this and watching people probably get mad in comments when they go to Ratio and laughing their ass off. There's like, oh, you got him.
Because real quick, I saw this one before we got on it on your Apple podcast.apple's page, right? I noticed the bottom there, customer reviews, right? It says you guys got 1 star by Soto Wanko or whatever. Couple of dudes, cracking jokes about serious stuff, not professional or prepared. This is all very serious. This is all this. Well, they can't make fun of conspiracies, man. This is important. This is really things happen. Yeah. So this is why I wrote this for that guy, just to piss off that guy, Soto Wanko. Yes, I hope he's pissed off with this podcast here. Just So because there's a whole bunch of those people.
We say that in like our intro, where like our description of the thing is we don't take this seriously. We're like drinking and smoking while we do this, and we're just a couple friends talking about conspiracies. And there's plenty of podcasts that talk super serious about conspiracies, but you know what? We joke around, and because
and
that's who we are. We don't. it's an interesting topic to talk about, but you gotta laugh.
Yeah, we like to keep
Right.
an open mind, but also at the same time, we're skeptical for most things. We don't always agree with everything, but at the end of the day, we like to think that the poor schmuck like us that's got to be stuck in like an office or in a building somewhere working, they don't want to. They can pop in a podcast and like they escape from reality for a minute and think that they're like not even far from reality, just in a bar, just drinking and chopping it up with a couple.
Yeah,
of friends
that's the feeling that we want, is that you're just chilling with your friends.
Right. Cool. I like it.
I think we do a good job of that. So from those first pages in the second book, Higher Strangeness,
Right.
during that whole basically pizza incident, Pizzagate incident with the dogs, when he talks about M exposing the emails, is that basically like QAnon kind of stuff? Isn't that how that stuff started?
Emerald. Yes. No. Yes. Exactly.
Or 4chan, or yeah.
Where is it? Yeah. Off of 4chan here. QAnon. In my book, it's called Emeron, M-Oron. In fact, if you go to our website, m-oron.com.
Oron. Oh, okay. I just now got it. Moron.
Got it.
Yeah, there we go. Sorry.
You got it. All right.
Oh man, I was like, wait a minute. I was like, hold on. He had to spell it out for me. I'm not quick-witted all the time.
QAnon, Emeron. Yes.
Oh God, that's hilarious.
So
we actually did an episode on QAnon, and it was funny.
Yes, and the Pizzagate was kind of the start of it. I guess I'm just lumping all this in here, you know.
Yeah.
So basically, Emeron, or the master of right-wing ominous news.
Yes. Yeah.
And then yes, that's a mystery of who is M. I can spoil it for you, or if you guys are gonna read it.
I mean, do you guys care for? I'm gonna read it regardless. I'm just really curious.
Me too. Yeah, I'm gonna read it regardless.
Well, all right. Well, here that. Well, I'm gonna spoil the first book, right? I guess I can de-gut it if you want, and I can show you what the references are. All right. Well, we'll spoil it for everybody. Here's a spoiler. Okay, so click off. Okay, what? Click off.
Spoiler alert for those who want to check out the books and not want the spoiler alert.
Okay, we'll try to keep this to like 1 minute, and then come back. Or I tell you what, you guys will time this out, right?
Yeah,
I can do that. Yeah,
time it out.
All right, so here we go. Okay, spoil it. Okay, so the guy who you saw, they met in making the crop circle, right?
The camo guy.
He is the camo guy. Has a buddy, and he is the guy who instigates everything in the first book. We see him on the back of it. Yes, that was my little intro there. Basically,
the flunky.
He has a flunky too. Yeah. The whole joke is that there's two. Everyone each has their own flunky, right? That guy who's what do they call it? His name was I forgot here. Anyway,
I forgot it too, and I'm sure I wrote it down somewhere. I just can't find it.
He basically is responsible for all the fake UFO sightings in the first book, where everyone thinks there's all these UFOs coming by on the Cape. He's basically got a bunch of drones, and he's working the drones. So he's the guy, the mastermind behind that. So we set that up, and they become buddies, and they end up trying to do a Bigfoot, fake Bigfoot thing at the end here. So they're all buddies. So that basically that's how he meets his other friend. On the second book now, he's the guy responsible for the Emeron network. So basically, Zeke, who just keeps doing what he does, turns into Alec Jones. He becomes popular. What the hell's the guy's name? I'm blanking out here. Okay. He basically sets up the Emeron site. And then basically, he starts putting out, if you go to higherstrangeness.net, you'll see some of the conspiracies that I made, basically based off of some real things. What was I going to say?
That's driving me nuts. I had it written down and I can't find it. The name thing is going to drive me nuts.
Right. So basically, they end up. So the point is, they end up selling the aliens. All right. So they figure out that the aliens made Astro smarter, right? So they figured out. Oh, wait a minute. There is a connection now between intelligence. They end up. It's sort of like in 2001, where the monolith made the apes, smarter. and then turned into outer space and nuclear bombs and all that. The whole joke on the second book is they end up smashing up the aliens and selling them on eBay, and the world turns into intellectuals. The whole world now just becomes smarter until there's one last stupid person on the planet. So basically, it's kind of like a fantasy. It's almost I call it like the Turner Diaries for intellectuals. Just like, what if the whole world just became smart?
Just the opposite of Idiocracy.
Yeah, exactly. What if the whole world became smart because the aliens were able to, those guys were able to sell the aliens to everybody. Yeah, and then it all went away for this short moment there. So there you go. So all right, so end the spoilers. So there you go. How long was that?
2 minutes.
2 minutes. Sorry.
3 minutes.
Right.
Case is over here with a stopwatch. He's just like, and spoilers gone.
Right. So basically, I touch on all the things. Like, as an example, the second book, Oculus, right? Edward Snowden talked about the Five Eyes network when he was brought in. He said, some notes here. The former NSA contractor Edward Snowden described the Five Eyes as a supernatural intelligence organization that does not answer to the known laws of the own countries. In the second book, I have the Oculus, the ongoing covert, unrelenting, limitless ultra surveillance branch. I was basically watching everybody, so they can watch anybody, and that's a nice little device. I can jump around from out of the main characters.
Stanley. That was a name.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Thank you, Stanley.
I got fixated
Stanley.
on it. I had to scroll through.
Yeah,
I also have the
okay.
script on my phone, and that was easier for me to scroll through.
Right.
It was going to bug the hell out of me.
So I had a Mothman thing. So the Mantis Man basically, Zeke thinks there's some bridges here on Cape Cod. So stealing from the Mothman, there's a Mantis Man who thinks who's spotted by the Sagamore Bridge, thinks it's going to collapse. Blah blah blah. Yeah, QAnon. So yeah, I basically just took all the major conspiracies out there and sort of put them onto Cape Cod into this little situation.
Okay. Yes. So are you super familiar with the area of Cape Cod? Like, did you grow up around?
I can see it. I'm literally on the other side of the canal here, so I'm technically part of Cape Cod. I'm Buzzards Bay. By the way, there are no buzzards in Buzzards Bay. It's just it was named after what are they called, those birds? But yeah, anyway, yes, I live in Buzzards Bay, so it's
okay.
Cape.
Yeah, I'm not very familiar with the terrain there. I mean, obviously we're right in the hell over here, but
right.
I've only heard from it. There's musicians I listen to that frequent that area. I guess musicians from Connecticut and things that talk about it a lot. But
quaint as hell. This is where you go for summer, right? And you see Jaws, right? So that's basically part of it. That's Martha's Vineyard.
Okay. I have not watched Jaws in a long time. I know Mike's usually our movie buff here. He usually has everything memorized.
Right.
We're gonna need a bigger boat.
Wait, Casey, did you say we're gonna need another boat?
You need a bigger boat.
Bigger boat.
Bigger boat. Is that what it is?
But apparently, that's not even said in the movie. Supposedly,
No, he said Royscheider said we're going to need a bigger boat. He flipped up, walked backwards into the cabin and said, "We need a bigger boat." Or you might not. I can't tell you what precisely he said, but we're going to need a bigger boat, right? He said something to that effect when he first saw the shark. So yeah, I've seen Jaws a million times, and I saw it in the theater, and I'm yeah. In fact, I was just reading the Jaws log from Gottlieb, the guy who wrote it. Yeah, he had a detailed account of what happened during the filming of it. So, yeah.
That sounds. It would be like an indie film called Jaws log, and it's actually them fighting. Fighting one of Jaws' massive turds. I think it's a shark.
Oh my god!
All right, a little toilet humor there.
Yeah, what the hell? Just get.
Yeah, what the hell? Let's get it in there.
Go for it.
We're gonna need a bigger toilet.
Oh my god!
We're losing people. All right, here we go.
So, outside of the High Strangeness books, do you have any other novels that you've written?
Yeah, my first one, which is utterly ignored, it's called Artifice. Basically, I basically rant about the art world as an artist, that no one gives a shit until you're dead, or as long as you have a good story to sell whatever art you've made, is sort of the rant I do in that. I converted that into a script too. Yeah, no, absolutely nobody gave a shit about that. And the problem, it's my fault. I didn't write the genre. I didn't have a dragon in it. I didn't have I didn't have I didn't have a vampire or a detective. And yeah, and I've learned my lesson. I'm a broken man now. Yes, my next novel shall be, a psychological thriller that my name's not even going to be on it. I'm going to pander to an audience. I give him. I just want my money. I'll just take my money. I don't forget about the fame.
You could use a
Just write something about a sexy werewolf, and you'll be good to go.
Yes, thank you. Yes,
they gotta make sure they shine in the sun, and they have like a 12-pack under their shirt.
Right.
You can always go by an alias. You can call yourself Big Eric Nicks.
Yeah.
Scramble your name.
I had to, yes, Eric Bickernicks, thank you. Yes, no, as in 5th grade, I had to live through that. Yes, thank you. Yes. I really, the fact that you guys enjoy this, I thank you.
It was. I mean, so far I've enjoyed it, and I regretted that I couldn't read more of it before we had you on.
But now you figure, like, how many books are written, sci-fi books are written about Boston, right? None. And that there's a Boston sci-fi community here. And I said, hey, I wrote a novel about, it's on Cape Cod. No one gave a shit. Can I just send it to you guys? No, they didn't give a shit, right? Then I did a book signing, or I did a book promotion up in New Hampshire, right, where there was, all of us novelists get together with a little, with our book. We sit in front of a table, right? We have a little stack there, right, and we have a little signage, and people come up, and then and they can talk to everybody, and they sell a book, right? And the guy next to me wrote a novel about, it had dragons in it, right? Now here I'm thinking, okay, now listen, I wrote locally. I have something about Cape Cod, right?
Was he a fat old guy with a beard?
No, yeah, right. So what happened is I sold no books. No one gave a shit. It's like, whatever, UFO book about Cape Cod, I don't care. Even though we live here, we don't care. The guy next to me sold fucking 4 books about dragons. He did he create the idea? No, he didn't create dragons. He just stole them, wrote about them, sold 4 books. And I'm like, fuck.
You think he probably just rehashed dragon cliches?
Yes.
Put it all together.
But the lesson to be learned was like, I needed a dragon. Apparently, I needed to put a dragon, or a vampire, or So this is just me railing against humanity. But all right, I learned my lesson. So you're right. I'm sorry. I'll stop writing original shit.
Well, you should have ended your art book with them looking at a piece like, what do you think of this one? It's not really up my alley. And then a dragon just shreds through the building and just bites one of them.
You start with that, right? And then,
it's like an M. Night Shyamalan twist right there.
For no reason.
Right.
Yeah. Or you can just, it could be about a dragon who is in the art world and nobody knows he's a dragon because he has the Clark Kent effect going. He's just wearing glasses and they just think he's human. That might work too, right? And, all right, a little dead air, guys. What's going on here? I'm just kidding.
That was drinking.
So, did you write anything else other than those 3?
Well, I have a short story that was completely ignored by all those major sci-fi magazines. What the fuck, I'm blanking. What the hell did I call? If I can call my own thing here. Jesus, it's getting late. Here, let me hold on. Let me go find it. Amazon.
Like, it's actually a musical. It's a Star Wars the musical. It's not for everybody. Han Solo gets a little too intimate with an Ewok, and it's not allowed on mainstream stages anymore.
All right.
Oh god.
All right. Ultimate Thule Nut Clusters. Jesus Christ, I'm blank. Yeah, this is exactly the same same kind of vibe that I've been doing on the Higher Strangeness books. Basically, the first guy that goes to Pluto, lands on Pluto. But he basically, I'm trying. Where's the pitch? Where's the video anyway? Basically, he fights. All right, let me just read it. 2184, and there are no more places to explore except one, Pluto. Like Everest to Hillary, this distant outpost motivated our explorer to make the 8-year trip. So why does Tenny, the shipboard AI, insist on turning around? Yeah, so basically I rant about AI in that. So
Okay.
yeah, and it's
Sounds like the beginning of like a Doctor Who episode.
Yeah, I guess,
So we're heading to Pluto. Wow, the planet and debatable.
The debate is why go to Pluto. From an AI standpoint, why are you guys doing this? Because it's irrational. From an AI, it's just like, why do you guys need to do this? Because in 2084, they've already got rovers on there. They've got satellites going around, and so we clearly know what's on Pluto. So why do you need a human to actually step on Pluto?
It's that whole thing you were talking about in the Higher Strangeness book. It's like advanced, but you have to physically go out and grab it. Like, there's no point if you can like view it off. You were talking about the extraterrestrials and Zeke and Ken arguing,
right?
And it was like, why does an advanced species need to go out and touch our hands? Like, pretty much, they can sit at Neptune and just watch us through a telescope or whatever the fuck.
Right. Yeah. Exactly. Yeah. Well, we think of a close encounter as about 100 yards up. Who says they can't just park out in the orbit of Pluto and go, yeah, we can clearly see what's going. Yeah. Why do we need to get closer?
Yeah.
Or why do you even need to be Pluto? Why, But clearly, and that's a whole other thing. Yeah. It's obviously something is walking around on this planet just because if you as we're trying to do, map the atmosphere of different little planets around other stars, right? It's clearly that there is something on our planet. I mean, because obviously scientists said that to get our outlook, you definitely oxygen, which is not just something that just naturally forms around a planet. Something has to actually breathe it out and make this. So if you are on another star, they know something's been walking around on our planet for a while. So, yeah. We already know we're here, basically. If there's somebody, who even wants to look or can look. Yeah, and then now we're just getting into the Fermi paradox. Yeah. Right.
Well, so have you released a short story at all, or
it's on Amazon. Yeah,
it's on Amazon as well.
Amazon. Yeah.
Well, I'd love to give it a read too.
Yeah, it's only 20 minutes. Yeah, what the hell?
Yeah. Nice. That'd actually be fast. For someone like me, it'd probably be 60 minutes because I think I do have ADD, and I thought it was hilarious because I was like, I'll read his script, and then after I started reading it, and then I noticed it's like, for those of you who have ADD. Right. This is a shorter version, and then I was like, I think I'll read the novel then. And I started, as soon as I'm reading it, I was like, I'm getting a good stride here. We're doing pretty good. It's like, yeah, see, it ain't that bad. I can pay attention. It's like, fuck, I just got 2 pages down. I got to restart because I'm over patting myself on the back instead of comprehending what the fuck I'm reading.
Man.
It
takes me a little bit because I get sidetracked so easily.
Read the script then. I did. What's amazing though is I wrote the fucking novel, but I still had a hard time boiling it down because the novel is like 60,000 words, and a script is what the hell is it? It's like 20,000 words. To get
you definitely script. You definitely cut out all the describing things.
Yeah,
with scripts in general, you have to. Yeah, because you're just trying to get straight to the point because it's
you have 120 pages, so it has to fit into 120 pages.
Yeah,
that's just how it is.
That's what's understandable about it.
Yeah, so you've really got to be brutal. And I wrote this crap thinking that this is going to be a script, and it was hard taking 60,000 words and just like literally just cut, and yeah.
I did enjoy. One of the because you go into the whole like POV pretty much with each character. I was just thinking about this now, but there's one with the alien, and it's just like a binary code 00100 for like 2 pages, and then it cuts back to the next character. I thought that was hilarious. I was like, "Where's this leading?" And then it just cuts to the next fucking page.
Thank you. All right. So yes, I got blowback. Some people are like, what do you think? Well, basically, that is binary code that could be converted into text. If you took all the text out, and there's binary conversion web pages. So the point is, yes, I wanted the aliens that Astro's playing with, to, I don't know, I want to clearly state that yes, they're actually communicating to.
They're actually, see, that's what I was curious, because I've gotten to Astro talking to the aliens, and one licked his face, and he woke up like, what the fuck? And then he's like, all of a sudden can count.
Right. That was Astro's dream. Yes, he was dreaming about an alien that licked his face. So I've gotten hammered on that, where a couple of people are like, how dare you think I'm gonna have to like decode this? Like, well, no, you're not supposed to decode it. It's just illustrating that
It's just there.
It's there, right? But some people just can't, like, no, there's got to be proper, it's not the way it's done. I'm like, oh. So I've gotten hammered on that. Now the thing is, if you do convert it into text, which you can, and I was thinking, all right, so what profound thing would an alien say, about our civilization back to theirs, right? And I was like, oh boy. So I said, fuck it. So basically, they're dirty jokes. They're
I didn't know they could actually be decoded. I thought you were getting at that they decode the gibberish or something. I didn't know they actually.
Yes, the binary can be converted back into text.
That's hilarious.
Yes. And basically, it's just I forgot, I had the jokes here somewhere, but yeah, no, they're just dirty jokes. I'm like why would a human lick its balls? Because it can.
Oh god, that's hilarious.
So all right, yeah.
The people that get upset about these things, I gotta decode whatever. It's like a lot of these people are probably MCU fans, and you gotta watch like 25 plus fucking movies to understand like half the shit that's going on, because they make references to everything. It's like, if you have time to watch that many movies, you have time to fucking take 2 pages and decipher them, or not at all and do it the way I did and just thought it was hilarious mumbo jumbo, because everything's between the perception of each character in the book, and the fact that an actual extraterrestrial everybody's talking about just comes in and talking binary code randomly before it shifts to the next person is hilarious to me in itself.
They must get really mad when they like watch a movie and the other language isn't fucking put into subtitles because the character whose point of view it's from doesn't know the language.
Right. So that was just little Easter eggs that if somebody wanted to actually convert it, you would actually have something to convert to, which is just dirty jokes.
Nice.
Yeah, and one of them is, why would a human lick its balls or lick itself?
And we're being real here. I mean, if I had the ability to do it, I might try it out once or twice.
But the joke is, it's actually a dog joke. It's like, why does the dog lick its balls?
Because it can.
So from the alien's point of view, the only smart thing on the planet is the dog. So why would a human lick its balls? Because it can, So
that's actually
I'm sure nobody fucking looked into it, So yeah. Actually, I think one person might have said, "Wait a minute, that's binary." And I think they might have done something with it, but yeah. But by the way, the first.
That's a pretty unique way or a pretty unique thing to put into like a novel. It's not like every day you get stuff like
yes, and I just got hammered for it.
That's crazy. People are looking for new ways to revamp things, make them more interesting and everything. And then there you did.
I tried. No one gives a shit. Yeah, exactly. So when you guys appreciate, I'm like, oh, thank God, it's taken me around 5 years ago to I finally have someone who understood it. Yay.
Yeah, there's probably got to be like 12 of our friends that probably appreciate the same type of humor.
Yeah.
No, I'm not going to get rich, obviously. So yeah.
Including one of our other podmates. Podmates? Is that a
I don't know.
Podmates. He actually, I was telling him about it, but he was busy. But I was like, a lot of the things this character Ken does is stuff that he does as well. Like his way of thinking, like the skepticism. He said like literally the exact same thing in different words of like everything, that especially with the argument with Zeke on the radio show / podcast / his mom's favorite radio show, I guess.
Right. I think it's just the skeptic. Right. It's a standard, rational skeptic viewpoint. Right. I mean, so. Right.
Yeah.
Apparently, people don't want that. Nah. Yeah, you can sell a lot more if it's like, yes, the aliens are out there. There we go. We're going to be abducted. Sells, makes good copy, sells. Yeah, you can sell your book. Much easier than being skeptical. Right.
Everything nowadays is everybody likes to see how a certain blueprint works, and they just like to go off of that, and it takes away the creatism of like everything. It's just like what makes something unique. Everybody wants the next thing to be just like the next. It happens with music. It happens with TV shows. It's just it gets dull after a while. At least it does for people who like to see people mix it up. Anyway.
Oh, don't even get me started on music. Oh, as a 61-year-old, Christ, yeah. So you hear the same lick every 20 years. Like it's like the world loops every 20 years. And then you don't notice the click of the loop the first time. When you hit 20, you're like, yeah, you weren't old enough to actually hear the click.
I pray to God 40, that I pray to God that they don't that the actions of some musicians don't repeat, because I'd hate to see another Neverland thing with Michael Jackson repeated.
It's coming. It's coming. Yeah,
it's coming.
At 60,
well, it already did. Like, they had a whole island about it. That's what.
Yeah, just the click. It's like, there it is again. There's that riff. Yes, yep. I've heard that riff 3 times now. Every 20 years, there's that riff. Or there's that. The character. Don't even get me started. There's a Star Wars that literally was the first Star Wars. I'm like, so yeah. They just figured the kids aren't. I forget what it is, but it's literally the plot line is literally the first Star Wars redone, and no one gave a shit. I'm like, but this is the first Star Wars. This is clearly they're just like, all right, you don't know, okay? They sold it. It sold,
Everybody freaked out about that Zack Snyder movie. What was it that just came out?
Rebel Moon.
Everybody's like, this is what the new Star Wars would be, and I haven't watched it, but I was like, but why do we need the next of the same thing?
Yeah,
I want to see something new.
Yeah, my wifey said, yeah, she's just, just don't. And yeah, if you see the meta reviews, it's like, no.
Yeah, see, we don't need more of that. I actually enjoyed that zombie movie Zack Snyder made, only because it was a breath of fresh air to me to just see something different. It wasn't like the best movie, but it was. I don't know. I've watched like the same movie over and over again a lot of times. Basically, I don't know. It was just fun to see. And I'm only saying this actually because there was one scene in that movie that made me laugh hella hard. Actually, it's the only scene I can remember is Dave Bautista kissing the girl in front of the elevator. It's like, oh, she's going to get bit. No, she just got her head fucking snapped all the way around, and I started busting up laughing because I didn't see that coming. It was like zombie bite, not fucking rip her head around like... I don't know. It wasn't like it was like a unique, a brand new type of movie. It was just, I don't know, nice to see someone like, I'm just going to take a zombie genre movie, make it kind of a heist, and just have fun with it. It is the way I felt. I don't know. The story didn't stand out to me. I guess when you're drinking and watching movies, it's probably the best thing if it doesn't have a compelling story, because you're not going to remember it the next day.
What blows my mind right now, as a 60-year-old here, now I worked at a theater. Blade Runner came out, and I remember just and I would watch sections of Blade Runner over and over and over and over again, because what happened is you let the customers in, and then there's nothing to do for an hour and a half, so I would just go in and watch Blade Runner again and again and again and again. What's amazing is there's there's people who say I'm into sci-fi. Like, oh, what do you think of Blade Runner? Like, I haven't seen Blade Runner. I'm like, how do really? You haven't seen Blade Runner?
Great
I'm like,
movie.
Oh, you're right. You're only 20. You're right. You haven't. There's so much for a younger person to catch up on. That's good stuff. But when I was back in 1979, there was only anything before 1950 or. I would say like War of the Worlds, like the George Powell War of the Worlds was like the first sort of cool sci-fi movie, and there's some black and white stuff.
Mm-hmm.
So there's So by the time I got out of high school, I saw all the science fiction movies that were worth seeing, and then just lived my life for 40 years. And so I've been keeping up. So when you have someone who's like, I haven't seen Blade Runner, I'm like, really? But come on, don't you know that you surely know that's a good one, right?
I was lucky the first time I ever watched it, I saw the director's cut.
Right. Okay.
Which is just awesome. Great movie.
Yeah. So that's why I've fucking seen everything. So that's why to me it's like, yep, the loop, it's looped again, and okay, fine, I'll be dead. I'll be another 20 years and I'll be dead. So all right. Yeah. So yeah, I would hate to think, to be so young and have to catch up on all this stuff because it's a full time job. If you really want to know,
Yeah,
the good stuff, what's out there.
I like it. Luckily, my uncle and stuff was very into the sci-fi stuff. He showed me Blade Runner, showed me Highlander,
Right. Right.
just tons of great movies. Which
I
I've been trying to, so like our other podcast mate, one of his favorite band is Queen, so I've been trying to show him Highlander for like a couple of
right.
years.
You just show him Flash. Because
Yeah.
the
He's not
Flash,
big
which
on.
no one. Yeah, you don't want to watch Flash. But I remember, I saw Star Wars. Like I said, I was on board from day one. As a, how old? I was like 16. I went to see Star Wars in the theater multiple times with my buddy. In fact, I snuck a tape recorder in, knowing that we want to be able to quote Star Wars correctly because this was well before VCRs or camcorders were available. So we
Mhm.
stuck a tape recorder in to record so we could get the right quotes from Star Wars, right? So believe me, I was totally in. And now that I've lived through all of them, now it's just like, oh, it's just the same old crap.
It's over,
Yeah.
and Disney can't let anything die. They gotta just
Right,
keep
Yeah.
pounding away at it.
When I was 12 years old, I think I went and saw Revenge of the Sith 6 times.
right, okay.
So yeah,
Right, so right, you
just
started from there, right?
yeah. I
Speaking
mean,
of Disney,
I had watched them all. Like that's Star Wars, probably my favorite film franchise of all time.
right.
Um,
In fact, I had
but
a Super 8. I had a reel of back in the day to get before the VCRs, right? The only way to own a piece of Star Wars was
Betamax,
no,
whatever.
before Betamax. Super, they gave on. They had 20 minutes of on Super 8 sound color movie film. You could buy
oh
20
wow,
minutes of Star Wars, and basically it was the TIE Fighter. It was the Millennium Falcon when they first the TIE Fighters first attack. Don't get
Mhm.
cocky, kid. Bump, bump, bump.
Yeah.
I think there's another one where he was talking to Alec Guinness. But yeah, I was able to watch that. So believe me, I was really in. I was fully in. And now it's like, yeah. Now, speaking of Disney, I tried to sit through Indiana Jones and the something.
Oh, and
The
I
Last
did
Gadget.
I did
I was
not
gonna
get
bring that
past.
up.
I watched like a little bit past the train sequence, and I was just like, what
Yeah,
the
well,
fuck?
all right. Yeah, it looked like a video game. I mean,
Yeah, it did.
Spielberg actually had people on motorcycles driving. You believed it,
Hmm.
You had the actor underneath the truck. You really believed
What is
it
it,
was
all
underneath the
CGI
truck.
now?
It was just completely
Yeah, pretty
all.
much.
Yeah,
It's
especially on the train here.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I'm guessing they filmed it in the volume, and then the de-aging on Harrison Ford looks shitty.
Yeah, well, it's getting worse. Have what was the Scorsese movie? They did all that in what's his face?
Oh, with
Yeah,
Robert De Niro in like The
yeah,
Irishman or something like that, or
that
whatever it
was
was.
yeah.
Yeah.
So compared to
Oh
that,
yeah,
yeah,
I
it
haven't
was
watched The Irishman. Is Joe Pesci still pretty good?
right.
dude, The
Well, yeah,
Irishman's a great
exactly.
fucking movie.
Right, even though
It's
but
like it's like
3D,
almost 4 hours, but it's a damn good
right.
movie.
But even though, as long as you can get past the like, well, I know that's not really how
Yeah.
Ron looks. But the point is, and the thing that I was watching again, what's it called? Indiana Jones and the doohickey device, whatever.
The Dial of
The,
Destiny or something like
yeah,
that.
yeah. The problem is they're on a train. The problem is you can tell that it's shot in a studio. None of the lighting is changing on their faces, even though they're supposed to be roaring through.
Yeah.
A train thing. The light just doesn't change. So obviously they just sat there on the green screen, and it's just it just looks. Yeah.
One of the things that kind of like messed with me, it took me out of it a little bit, was anytime they showed a wide shot of Indy, you could tell that it looked like a dude in a mask.
Right.
That's what it looked like,
Right.
and
Right.
like it looked like a rubber mask, and that was taking me out of it a little bit. But
Right.
like that's something I can overlook. But after that train scene, it starts setting up the actual fucking story that's going on.
Right.
And once it started doing that, it's bringing in these new characters that I don't necessarily care about yet, and they're not introducing them very well.
Right.
Yeah.
You know, it's funny. Speaking of skin masks, you know who looks like they're wearing a skin mask? Mike Myers. He looks like he's wearing a
really?
mask of the Michael Myers serial killer all the time now. Man, it's not aged well.
Yeah, I haven't seen him recently. Yeah, so
He had
Love his
some
stuff.
show on Netflix where he's playing multiple characters. I didn't watch it, but
Okay,
somebody
yeah.
I
somebody
watched
sent me.
like half
But
half the series.
was it funny or?
It's funny, but it's pretty there's some good jokes in it, but with the rapid amount of jokes that are in it, like about maybe a quarter of them hit. So
Nah, okay.
it can feel a
Yeah.
bit cringy at times.
I
That's always
gave up
fun.
after Love Guru. I don't think I
Yeah,
even
that's
sat through it because
He came
yeah.
out Love Guru, and I didn't watch
right,
anything after
right,
that.
yeah, right. Just yeah,
It turned me into a hate guru, honestly. I was just like, fuck this man,
right.
fuck everything he's done.
Like the concept for that show is funny, but I don't think the
Is that one
execution
about
on it was very good.
conspiracies?
Yeah, it's
Or
about like
yeah,
a secret cabal that rules the world. So
Is
interesting.
this Mike? Is this a Mike Myers movie or just or?
It was a
no,
Mike
it's a
Myers
Mike
TV
Myers
show.
TV
Yeah,
show. Well, more
Oh,
a show that came out on Netflix, whatever you would call that, a streaming show. I don't
yeah.
know, a
right.
series. But
But it was hit and miss. There was some good parts. I didn't finish it. I only watched like half,
well, if
and that
it wasn't funny for the first half, like you felt like it was, chances are the second half isn't. I don't think you should stick around for it.
well, that's what happened. Is like I was trying to stick through it, and I just ran out of time that day, and I never felt like going back because I watched like 3 or 4 episodes in a row. Um, and again, it was hit and miss. Wasn't that great, but it wasn't terrible.
So I'm trying to think of like good sci-fi movies that I like to see recently. You guys saw Moon, right? From Moon a couple of years ago, directed by David Bowie's son,
Oh, with Sam Rockwell.
Sam Rockwell. Yeah,
Y-
I really
Oh,
like that one. That
amazing
was
movie.
yeah,
Yeah.
that was cool.
That one
I'm trying to
is
think
really cool. I'm excited about like this. There's a new one coming out with like Adam Sandler. It's called like The Astronaut or something like that. It looks
right.
similar. Looks like it's an astronaut stuck in space dealing with being stuck by himself, like mental health stuff. It looks interesting, and it looks
Yeah.
like an Adam Sandler drama, which he's good at those. So
Yeah, well, he better not do one of those stupid voices he does in it, otherwise. No, I'm just playing. I enjoy a lot of Adam Sandler movies, and
when Adam
He's gonna do the little Nicky voice the whole
when Adam
time.
Sandler does drama, he does pretty damn good.
there's a good this isn't Adam Sandler related, but that sci-fi series I was watching with the actor that played Gregory House and House. I
Oh
enjoyed
yeah,
Oh yeah.
yeah, I actually
Hugh
enjoyed
Laurie.
it. Yeah, it was a pretty good show, and I forget what it's called, Avenue something. It got canceled, but I don't know.
Yeah,
I enjoyed it. It was just
yeah. I watched it. It was funny.
like when they have the one they go to this place where it's all they're in space, so like the whole plot is they're on this like ship cruise through space, and they're kind of like slingshotted across like a bunch of planets and everything, like just I forget exactly the
Yeah.
plot there, but they end up getting knocked off course. So a bunch of
Hmm.
stuff happens. They end up at a space station that is actually for like crazy people they've kicked off of Earth, and the guy they're trying to get to help them start one of their systems back up. He's smart, but the guy the guy was like a sex offender or something. So they fucking created a tunnel and put him in a ball like a hamster and like wheeled him to their engine room fix it, and then they shot him right back into the like back to where he was supposed to be, back on that station, because they promised he could stay there. It was just hilarious, but it got canceled, wasn't? Yeah. Speaking of space and aliens, so because I know you're a skeptic with everything, but do you believe like there is extraterrestrial life out there somewhere, just not necessarily like
Right.
technologically
See,
advanced enough to come here, or
right. See, because it's really that's two questions or two things you're asking, right? Is like, do they exist, and did they actually take the time to actually come here? Because they can
yeah,
certainly exist, which has nothing to do with did they actually make the trip and give us rectal exams. Now, there's an interesting book. What the hell? I wrote down over here. Okay. Um, you guys should check out. There's a book called Alone in the Universe, right, by John Gribben. Here, if you go to Amazon, um, and he lays out some interesting things here on that question. And I'm going to paraphrase his book basically. and let me back up a little bit. My first argument, which I laid out in the book, was basically, yes, if someone does exist, do they actually have to come right overhead? And as I laid out in the book there, right, what's wrong with just parking yourself in Pluto or just whatever
Yeah.
outside of the orbit? You can certainly, the one thing you can assume about them is their powers of observation are much greater than ours, right? If they can certainly travel between that space, their sciences or whatever, just a simple statement of their power of observation is greater than ours. Right? I mean, right? That's just, you can't argue with that. That they would have that, right? Just
Yeah.
right. I mean, so how can you not argue? Well, no. They can travel through space, but they can't. So the point is that's my thing. If you're assuming they're similar to something like us, certainly they can see further. So why do they have to be so close? Is the argument that I laid out in the book.
Yeah, especially with how hostile, like what I like to believe, humans are very fucking hostile, beings. We're very fight over the dumbest things. The comedian Eddie Griffith had like a funny joke about aliens crashing, and one of them's trying to go outside. It's like, man, what are you doing? We fight about being white and black. They fight about being white and black. We're purple. What the fuck do you think they're gonna do to us? And it's a funny joke, but it's true. Like the hostility, it doesn't make any sense to me why you would want to come down.
So if there's anything watching us, right, certainly you would see that we go insane as a civilization, right? We just mentioned 1918. If they're watching, like, they just want, look at that. They just killed millions of each other, and then it happened again in the 40s.
Yeah, if you observe all the fucking genocides that's taking place on this planet, why the fuck would you come down?
Yes, precisely. So why would, one little argument I would say is, because I know from our standpoint, yes, we would love to have them come by, right? We would love to have them assist us in a fucking million ways here. And I'm sure someone like that, if they were advanced something to get from there to here, right? I'm sure the concept of, like, let's say they gave us the box, right? It's basically, and this would do wonders for our civilization and humanity. Imagine a box. It's a nuclear power station, right? That has a plus and minus on it, right? And that this little box, they managed to condense a battery or whatever, that amount of power. And of course, we have to assume that they can bend space if they did that. Certainly, just giving us the little box, which would just power your car, power your home for your entire life, and then you would just give it to the next generation, and they could just power all that. Now, by the way, if they would have to tell us, by the way, if you put the two leads plus and minus to your neighbor, you'll vaporize them. So would we just use it as a weapon? Yes. Yes.
Oh yeah, we would weaponize.
We would kill each other with. So thank you for giving us the box, which solves most of our problems. But yes, we've just killed each other with it.
We are very hell bent on killing thy neighbor.
Yes. And basically that's our society. It's the big fish eat the little fish, right? I mean, that's just how it is.
Yeah, we're very power hungry, beings. We will do anything to get ahead.
And you keep saying that we need to explore out why. Well, we need to get basically why we fight, and this is always a good reason. As a sci-fi writer, if you're making a movie, why are they here? Well, they need resources, right? Why? Because we always want resources, right? We need whatever land, food.
We'll leave those things dry. We
exactly.
Take.
Yeah, because why? We're big fish. Big fish eat little fish. That's just how we are. And then we kind of look at it like we're just going to go out and we just need to colonize the whole galaxy. Blah blah blah. Why? Because that's just how it is. Just because we just need to keep consuming. Put condos on Mars. Yes, we like to terraform Mars. Why? Well, because we can just shit on it or whatever. So the point is, what if? But what if at some point we don't need the resources? And let me fold into like AI. Let's say if you just lived off of solar energy, or if you were just a computer that you didn't have to eat chickens every other day and food, and you just got rid of that, and you just didn't need resources. And that's our main reason to explore, right? Is we just need resources to eat, just to eat, live, eat, fill, right? If if an alien or an intelligence will say that, and an AI would kind of fit into this, didn't need the typical resources like, do I need a place to live? Do I need, would it need to explore like what we need, how we need to do that? So what am I getting at here? What am I ranting at here? I was getting to a point, but now I'm not so late here.
Well, what it's coming across to me is we're exploring for really no reason. We're before when we were exploring the Earth, we were exploring to find resources. But now that we're exploring space, when we start exploring space, and still even now, we have no real way of doing anything with space other than going, look at that. So, is that what you were kind of getting at? Like,
with extraterrestrial life, what's the point of them coming down to us?
Yeah, so
yeah.
But the point was, here's a little funny story idea you guys can steal. I was gonna write it up, but I gotta let you guys steal it. One funny story idea is we find an alien spacecraft who made the trip right to us, and we open it up, and they've all killed themselves inside of it. Basically, it's like, really, they made the trip, but they couldn't actually deal with each other, and if we actually put together a ship, we would
alien
probably
mutiny.
Exactly. We would naturally, if we just loaded ourselves into a spaceship, let's say, and tried for Alpha Centauri or whatever, it took us, multiple generations, and we'd probably just kill ourselves. We can't get along with now. We would. So the whole joke is, if an alien sent a ship like us, and these people and these aliens were like us, and the whole joke is we open up the hatch and they're dead, and why? And that's the reason. It's like, they killed themselves.
That would be a hilarious, just a hilarious opening for
they're in a spaceship, but they're just getting super terrible cabin fever and murdering each other.
Yes.
Could you imagine a ship crashes on Earth? They go in it, they see a bunch of dead aliens, and you're just like, there is clearly a coup d'état here, and then they look at a picture of two obvious aliens flirting with one. It's like, seems like they were both trying to fuck the same one. For some reason, they took sides.
Right. So that's my point. Is like we know we're really violent, and I know we'd like to not, be like that, but no, that's how we are.
I mean, humans are fucking hilarious. They'll deliberately put themselves in pain in order not to be bored. No, there was a scientific study done where they put people in a room by themselves, a blank room, and the only thing in that room was something that would shock them. And they would go back and keep touching it because it was the only thing to do. It would cause pain, immense pain, but it was something to do, which
is start pushing the other one into it, because that's, I think, how two frat bros would do it. Just like, come on, bro, and it's like throw them into it.
No, they're by themselves.
I think hyper intelligent creatures would observe our planet first, realize how fucking chaotic we are, and not want to step foot there unless there was something specific that they needed to observe closer. Like maybe we have some kind of resource that they don't have that they could benefit from, but also I don't see what we would have that they don't.
There you go. Bingo, right? Because
therefore I don't. I watch from afar, like you said in the book, from Neptune or whatever. Right. It's like watch from afar, observe. I mean, at the most you can send. I mean, we send fucking Land Rovers to shit. I mean, I'm sure they got stealth ones if they need to get that close, right?
Could you imagine if the alien species was like Vulcan, where they're like kind of numb and super intelligent, and they're looking at us and this species seems to be a slave to adrenaline and other endorphins and stuff like that.
They have a battle drug called methamphetamine.
But certainly, so anyone watching this would go, all right, so they figured out fission, right, and they're working on fusion. I mean, it's basically, that would entail, where we are technologically. They can just observe, like, okay, they set up a couple of H-bombs, all right, that's, can they actually recreate the sun. Well, they're working on it. So yeah, that's where they are. They obviously went through that whole process, assuming that science just goes, you build up from one, from stones to fire to, fission, now fusion, and then, there's nothing that would benefit them to
Yeah, we
contact
have
us.
nothing that's beneficial to them
Yes,
because they've already gone through our
gone through
process.
it.
We're lower
Correct.
on an
Thank you.
evolutionary chain than them.
Well, I've
Right.
said this in my arguments before. That's to believe that they evolved it the same way we did.
Fine. Yes.
Their
And
scientific evolution. Yeah.
right. Because you're right. You would first you have to assume that our life works, right? It actually has happened. All right, so we can at least say our method exists, works. Yeah, you can always go, well, it's all based off of the silicon, blah blah blah. You can always just imagine lots of other variants, but the fact is, we can prove that we are here in this makeup of atoms, so much high nitrogen, gives you a thing like this. Ultimately, it ends up, with a guy in a little metal container going off to another planet, right? So, and that's what we're looking for. Hopefully, something like that. Even in my first book here, there's not much to talk to. It's just a solid state alien that thinks. You can't even, we would like to have something like us. And sure, as a filmmaker, yeah, that's what you write. It's right. What's his face? Who did Avatar? James Cameron. Right?
James
Cameron,
yeah.
It's funny because they said, all right, so you could have rendered any alien you wanted, or you had any form could have been an alien in your movie. Why did you?
And he decided to make a space Pocahontas.
Yeah, why did you pick a blue alien that looks like a Pocahontas? And he said, because
Yeah.
I'm making a movie for humans. So
Yeah,
I'm appealing to them, and I need to have something that obviously can emote these emotions that what we get into as entertainment.
You think it'd be more creative being the guy that made a fucking like tentacle of water emote.
Right.
So like,
well, again, that was the whole thing. You can't, as a screenwriter, you want people to cry.
Yeah.
You're going to cry over, a tentacle of water. Well, it's cool, but you're not going to emotionally pull them in. That's why you have Pocahontas. Yeah, because they got big eyes. They knows how they have giant eyes, not little tiny ones. It's a play on your emotions. Basically, that's what movies are. Basically, it's certainly not reality.
I'm just surprised the Na'vi didn't build casinos. That might be it. So, it'd be a funny actual concept. Like, they should make a stoner satirical sci-fi movie where aliens do actually have to come to Earth because they discovered that hemp is actually a valuable resource for something stupid, and they can have Cheech and Chong.
Didn't they already do that though? Like, there's a movie of Cheech and Chong where Cheech gets fucking abducted by aliens.
Right.
Is there?
Yeah, there is.
All the movies. What is there, like 1,000 of those? I used to watch some of it when I was a little.
I think there's like 5.
Okay.
Yeah. But I think it's the third one where there's the alien abduction in Cheech and Chong. I think it's the third one. I'm not sure. But the only ones that I rewatch are the first 2. Those are the only ones that I find that to be rewatchable.
Like, there you go. They can have they can crappily CGI them young in those movies in the movie, and you'll be like, "What the hell?"
By the way, I saw the first 2 in the movie theater. Yeah, but when it came out, yeah. In fact, I had the record before they actually were in the movies. You had to buy their record.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
I've listened to great fucking comedy skit. I make references to it, and no one in my friends group understands it.
I know I'm not familiar with the movies too much. I've watched a couple when I was a kid, but I don't remember. I watched a lot of Comedy Central when I was a kid. And
like,
so
the
many
easiest
movies
one to quote off of that one, because it's one of the funniest ones, is Dave's Not Here.
Came off the record, right?
Yeah, and it's like hardly anyone I know gets that joke, but
the story behind that's actually happened. I think Cheech was fucking with Chong, and that actually came off of something that he was doing just to annoy him, and then they put it into the record. So yeah.
So for those that know, the basis of this joke is the guy shows up at the door, knocks on the door, and he's like, "Hey, is Dave home?" And he goes, "Yeah, Dave's not here."
Dave's not here.
Yeah.
No man, let me in, man. No man, it's Dave. I got stuff.
Yeah.
Dave's not here.
Yeah, Dave's there to like give him weed, and yeah.
I quoted that many times back when I was 16. Right?
So, are you a video game fan, or is there?
Yes. Well, back in the day, yes, I played the first ones, and
Okay,
actually, I still do. I still do Battlefield. What was it, number 5? I think. Yeah.
Mm.
Yeah. No, I started from day one. I was uh
you're like
started with
I was a
Ultima.
Pong champion back in the day.
Yes. Yeah. Right.
Um,
Yeah. No. Yeah. No, my
I was
claim to
just
fame is
curious because you made references to video games in the second book, didn't
yeah.
you? Yes. I thought you
Well,
made a
yeah.
Portal reference, right?
Yeah. I played them all. Yeah. Played them all. My claim to fame is when I worked at the movie theater. Right. There was a whole bunch of video games in the lobby. Right. And I noticed that
Yeah.
if you pry open the door, you can actually see inside the machine, and the key to the front of the machine is hanging on the door of the front. And if you stick a long coat hanger, you can fish that out. Go get a cup, you put it back in, and then you have then you can open up the machine and run all the free games you want.
Have you done this
Which is,
before?
I guess I've done this. Yeah.
This
Yes.
That's hilarious
this is
because
this is too detailed to be just an idea.
Yeah.
one of our one of our close friends, his name is Tang. So when we were kids, they used to have a Street Fighter arcade in their garage. When they left, they
right.
gave it to us. When they showed you how you rig it, because in the back there was like a thing, I can't remember. You just hit something. I don't remember. I was young, but you just hit something. I'd give you free credits for it, and it was so
Yeah.
cool.
On the
Up
front
until one
door.
of my mother's tweaker friends ripped all the cords out the back
Oh God.
to fix it.
Yeah. And once I had the key to the front, you then can look at the manual inside. I noticed that there's a rocker switch. It's a little tiny blue thing with like 8 switches on it. One of them gave you free games on it. So I noticed about in college there was a Pac-Man machine. And I know that if you took the rod and if you push that one little thing on the circuit board and not electrocute yourself, you can actually click it into free play. And I left the game on there for free play. The whole college, Fairham State for a while just had free Pac-Man machine.
So
Until,
they called you Pac-Man Man, right?
well, yeah, no one knew it was me. I said, fuck it, I'm just gonna do
Oh,
it. Yeah, and just left it there and yeah, there's a free game here. It's just the whole thing would just play for free.
Did you do this? Your
Yeah.
hair's all standing on the top of your head, just static electricity.
Yeah, no, I was careful, right. But goddamn it, I wanted free games. So yeah, this is old school hacking before. Yeah, there's no computers really. Well, there were, but they're just shitty.
That's funny. When I was a kid, they had in the Dollar Tree in the town I grew up in, they had quarter machines, and we would steal the little fake quarters from the
Right.
toy section of it, and we would put them in there, and they would work, and they replaced the machines. They wouldn't work anymore. But it was like the old ones didn't have a weight system. They just needed something, the twist in there, and it would work. Yeah, I imagine it would have worked with anything. It might have worked with pennies or anything you
Right.
shoved in there. But for
A
some reason, we
washer.
stole fake quarters to do it with, and the weight was completely off. I think the things were just busted, and you just had to have something circular in there to twist them. But they
Right.
eventually replaced the machines, and they wouldn't work like
Older
that.
machines were probably just a key and a groove. They weren't weighted. So as
Yeah,
long as you
I mean they were
push,
old.
push the levers just like a key,
We used
probably
to
worked
do it
just
for
fine.
the little homie figures and in
Oh.
magic bouncing beans. They had the little
Yeah.
like plate in the middle, and they would bounce. Shit like that.
So, do you guys hear about the story that Steve Jobs and Wozniak used to do red boxes? Do you know what they are?
No, but the red
Red
boxes,
boxes.
like the
Is that where they used to like? Is that where they used to hack like the
The
Pong?
phone system. No,
Oh,
the
the phone
phone
system.
system.
Okay.
Yeah, I built one of those. Yeah. So the deal is back in the day, payphones worked off when you put a quarter into a payphone, it sent a certain tone,
Oh yeah.
tones out through the system, telling the operator, okay, a coin has been dropped in, 1 2 for 25 cents. And basically, you didn't have to do this to the operator. So when you dial the number, it just said, please deposit 50 cents. And you needed to have this sound happen. And if you hacked this Radio Shack box, and this is what those guys were doing, you would push a button and it would recreate the tones. It would do 5 beep 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 beep, and it would fool into the payphone into as if you deposited 25 cents. And back in the day, if you wanted to do a long distance phone call, that was $3. Yeah, I was just randomly calling people. Those guys did, yeah. Like, let's call West Coast. This is
I mean, if you
Coast.
could call anyone, I'd pull some Jerky Boys shit on that. Like,
Right. Oh, yeah. Yep. Go ahead, Jerky Boys. Yes, I wrote a song about the Jerky Boys. It's got. You guys even know who Dr. Demento was?
oh yes, he found Weird Al. Yeah, he had his radio station. Yeah.
Yeah. No, I did. I had a bunch of I had a bunch of songs make it onto Dr. Demento.
Nice.
Nationwide. You guys know Ren and Stimpy? I had a Ren and Stimpy song on there
Nice.
long ago.
What, Happy Joy?
Happy. Well, no, yes, that was his song, but I did my own thing. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So anyway, yeah. So basically, the red boxes. Yeah. So those guys started it. I said, at the time, I think I found this information off of the BBS. Before the internet, you had to actually phone into another computer, a BBS. You know what I'm talking about? There was you could set up your computer to take phone calls, and it would connect, and you would have a forum, and then you would hang up. The next person would call in, and then they would connect to your computer. They would say something on the forum, like a web page in a sense. Disconnect. So you was like one
that's
person
wild.
at a time. Yeah, that was the way to communicate. Yeah. I'm so old. Yeah,
I never knew about that. That's something that I've never heard of.
Yeah, that's BBS. Yeah, that was even before then AOL showed up. Hey, children, listen to me here. I'm going to tell you the old stuff.
Yeah, I'm not familiar with BDS. I'm only familiar with BDSM, and that's not.
Oh my god.
Yeah. Yeah, if you're hacking, that's in that back in the day, if you wanted to hack into something, or if you wanted to get some information, the good stuff, how to build a red box, certain people would have it, and you have the whole network of nerds that you would have to connect with. And yeah, in fact, I just recently I just bought an Opal One camera off of somebody off of eBay, right? And they go, hey, are you the same dude who's trading? There's a synthesizer discs, floppies. And I recognize my name from fucking 25 years ago. And I go, yeah, I was the guy who, you had a BBS, and I was, and back in the day, you had samples, but you couldn't really, there's no place to upload them. So you had to trade discs of these samples, and they charge a lot of money. And he actually remembered that we did that in Cambridge somewhere. And my name stuck. So I was like, wow, really? My name stuck with you for 25 years, 30 years.
Did you have a cool code name like Neo or Morpheus?
Just Bix. Yeah, no, just BX.
There's an actual interesting story that James Brown allegedly stole Prince's synthesizer sounds.
Right.
Like he stole them from the studio. Like he took the discs.
Right. Yeah. That makes sense.
Yeah.
You could probably do that.
So, in the book, this was something I was curious actually about too. So the hoax talking about the Bigfoot, Sasquatch footprints.
Right.
Do you think possibly that there is a like any type of cryptids like the Loch Ness or Bigfoot, anything in those?
All right, so I'll go off on Bigfoot here. Here we go. Here's the things that bug me now. Because you look at the Patterson footage, right? And yes, I've heard the arguments like, oh, no, his legs are too long, so you can't be a guy in a suit. And I remember watching it as a 12-year-old going, oh, look at that. And I've watched it for now a very long time, over and over and over. And yeah, it could be a guy in a suit. A couple of weird things about the footage itself is it even as a 12-year-old, it's like the creature's ass is flat, and it just looked like a padded suit. It looked like a dude sitting on a log waiting for someone to show up. And just like, all right, and it looked like kind of like a padded. Its butt looks weird. I just recently watched it.
Could you imagine? Could you imagine somebody that's like, yeah, I seen Bigfoot. There's his print right there, and you see that tree.
Right.
It must have had an itch in its ass because it twerked up and down the side of that tree trunk for hours. Then it skedaddled.
So Bigfoot. So basically, the best thing we got is the Patterson footage, right? Right.
Yeah.
I mean, there's other. I've seen other ones like, well, okay, I forgot the guy's name. But yeah, there's a lot of like,
I'm
well, it's
terrible with
way off
names.
in
I
the
don't
distance.
remember it.
Yeah, there's a bunch of them out there. Yeah, I've seen them all. Believe me, I looked at them all here. Here's the deal. Though with Patterson, don't forget he was shooting a documentary about Bigfoots, right? So he knew he's doing a movie, I think, about Bigfoots, and he knew the value of what footage would be because he needed footage for, well, his movie about Bigfoots. So that's kind of like, well, all right. Now, one of the arguments I have is okay. Now, to film this, back in '67, you needed a film camera. There was no VCRs, no phones. And to film something, you needed a loaded film camera ready to go if you saw a Bigfoot, right? And with film, you have to make sure there's film in it. So even if you saw, holy shit, a Bigfoot, let me load this camera with film, right? Let me get the camera, let me stick this film in it, and then shoot it, right? It would just, forget it, right? You would miss it. Now, so this is '67. Now we don't have any better footage from 1967, right? We don't have anything that's like, well, that looks pretty comparable, to the Patterson footage, right? Guys, I mean, show me the footage. I've looked at it, but arguably we could say, yeah, that's the best we got. We have others, some long distance stuff, right? Now, every single person has a camera in their pocket, right?
Yeah, and I say this about
UFO
UFO sightings and everything else.
Right.
We are very we're like the way we live now. We are so media friendly.
Right.
Everything's recorded. You can't even take a shit in the bathroom without somebody recording the sounds of it.
Or something happens on the street. We got all the what's his face? The black guy who got beat. Yeah, he had four different angles.
They had George Floyd. They had
So
are we talking about George Floyd?
No, he's in L.A. The guy who's beat by multiple cops.
Are you talking about Rodney King? Are we going back that far back? My bad. There's so many, and I want to say this the most sensitive way I can. There are so many black people being beaten by police.
You said it. Good, yes.
Yeah, I'm not saying that in a it's almost in a joking tone, but I mean it does happen. Like it has happened several times.
You have seen the Chris Rock sketch where it's like he said basically how not to get beat by the cops.
And there's a Michael Che. There's a Michael Che sketch comedy show called That Damn Michael Che, where he's like, you got to show the white of your hands, which is, and that is a quote from Michael Che.
But you're familiar with the Chris Rock sketch, right? Where he goes, how not to get beat by the police.
By the police, yeah.
Basically, just sit there and don't have your wife yell out. Hey, I'm just going to point that out, and we shall stop talking.
We'll stop right there before we go down a rabbit hole that might get us all in trouble.
I thought Chris Rock illustrated it that point nicely. So, black man, thank you.
Yeah, no, he summed it up very nicely there. Right. The thing. So that's why. We can be forgiven if we say the wrong name because the fact is it happens on a scary level of things. Right. Anyways, yes. So back to the point at hand.
Back to Bigfoot. So point is, everyone has a 4K camera now in their pocket, right? So and then you've seen how many trail cams there are. They are literally left out outside. Right. I have one in my backyard that goes for months at a time. You've seen how cheap trail cams are out on eBay, right? They're literally pervasive out there, and they go for a long time, right? So, and then I've heard arguments like, "Oh no, Bigfoot can see the infrared and avoids trail cams." Like, all right, every single trail cam out there, has been avoided. Because yes, I've seen trail cam footage. Like, well, there's something blurry that got something. Okay, I suppose if you want to call that a Bigfoot, okay. But you assume that if they truly do exist, that it would certainly be a series of like, well, yeah, it's probably not a Bigfoot, it's probably a bear, if there's a steady stream of like, yeah, it's probably someone hoaxing, all right, yeah, it's fine. That's what you would expect, right? It's just like a steady stream of just like, yeah, well, all right, I'm skeptic, I'm probably going to dismiss that, and next month there's another something that's right, that looks pretty good. We don't have that. I mean, one of the reasons why is to fake a Bigfoot, right? Is like, well, you actually need a suit. It's not something that you can just put a mink coat over and go, all right, yeah, I'm going to make some Bigfoot footage. I mean, it takes effort to
I
do
think the
Bigfoot
jerky
footage, right?
commercials have done a good job at faking
Right,
Bigfoot
right.
sightings. And it's crazy
So,
because I've watched people run on or bike away from bears, shit like that, where they're like
right.
running from their life that have better visual, like camera specs than the people who claim to see Bigfoot.
Right. So the question is, my point is, okay, so where's all the footage? So certainly I should, as a skeptic, I should be dismissing a lot more footage, shouldn't I? That's like, yeah, okay, yeah, it just keeps going. Um, and then the other aspect is okay. So we're saying that, all right, there's a giant primate out there, right? That I know we use bears as an example, right? But guess what? Bears hibernate. So we're saying this primate is finding enough food in the middle of winter, or are we saying, oh no, they hibernate too? It's like really, like so, like if you just there's a certain minimal amount of caloric intake a creature that big needs. Okay, right? I mean, scientifically you could figure out, right? What am I talking about? The guy. Anyway, so the point is, so that's kind of like another gap there. Where it's like, oh, all right, so you have to explain away how they survive in the winter time now without going to they just hibernate because bears hibernate. So these primates hibernate, even though we're okay. They're primates, right? They're ancestors of us, right? Not bears. So this is like, all right, so now we have to really come up with an excuse how we avoided all the cameras up till now, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera.
See, I have a hard time believing a lot of it. The closest cryptid I'd believe in, the closest, and that's not
Right.
even like entirely 100%, is the Loch Ness monster, only because the plesiosaur thing makes
Now,
it's the only like slightly logical thing. But I'm saying if I would have to believe in one, that would
well, now
be
you do realize the best quote, best photo. Well, the first photo, the guy admitted, yeah, I faked it. It's on a sub. I put the thing in the water. That blurry first thing from the 30s, so that they always pull out. He says he faked it, right? You do know that, right?
I didn't know that.
He said it straight out. No, this is fake. Why?
That's why we're half cocked conspiracy theorists.
All right. Okay, right. That. But here's a scary part about Bigfoot now. Here's the hard part to actually accept, right? Now, either is a giant thing walking around out there, right? That it's just all the things I laid out. Yeah, it just got away with it. Yep, it just avoided all those trail cams. Can somehow survive winter. Yep, it just it does. Or they're liars. Now, let me back up one more time. Now, if you go to the BFRO site, they break down the Bigfoot sightings into A and B, which is like A is like, well, it's a dark thing out in the woods. I saw something big. The bears, right? You can just dismiss all I think the B's or the A's as, yeah, it was a dark thing in the distance. Yeah, it was a bear. Forget it, right? And then there's a other section, the B's, that says, no, I saw a 8-foot thing. It looked right at me, took 5 steps, walked across the road, right? Looked at me. It was da-da-da, all these details. And they separate into the B category, right? So the hard part to accept, and this is the hard part, is it either exists or it doesn't, right? If it doesn't exist, those people are liars. Liars. That's like, wow, there's a lot of liars, aren't there? And that's the hard part to swallow. Like, as you say, if you have to dismiss Bigfoot, you have to accept that liars, and that's like, wow, that's a lot of.
I'm surprised. You'd be surprised. Like, you think conspiracy theorists, like the hardcore ones, would be a little more skeptical because they wouldn't believe like media things that they see coming at them. Like I don't know, because if it wasn't sightings of like a cryptid or something, then they're seeing something else as a government distraction. Why wouldn't anybody ever cross? I know it wouldn't be, but why wouldn't they be paranoid enough to think that these were government distractions too? Even though it is just somebody trying to get attention half the time, I don't understand why high government like paranoid conspiracists wouldn't just think that they're being fed nonsense. I don't know. That's just me. I think everything's fake all the time. I try to keep an open mind, but
right. Because what? So the government lies to us. Yeah, so it's not like oh my, that's a revelation. Uh, right. Yeah. Exactly. So yeah, so that's the scary part, right? Is like, wow, there's a lot of delusional people out there. If that's really the case, or just not even delusional. That means if you just no, I lied, I just lied. I'm like, because I like I want to be part of this whole mythology, and yeah, put me down. Yeah, because it either exists or it doesn't, right? And we're not saying it's just like, well, okay, yeah, it's a bear. Well, you're okay, yeah, I was kind of, I really didn't get a good look at it. Yeah, that's fine. Dismissal. They're bears, all bears. But
Yeah.
yeah. But the certain ones that just say, no, they looked right at me, took 7 steps, and went from there to there. Yeah, and that, yeah,
That just reminded me. I watched that Cocaine Bear movie and that shit.
right,
It made me laugh so. I mean, ridiculous movie. It's not that great, but it was hilarious
right,
to me because at one point the bear rips a dude's leg off and he snorts a line off the leg and continues on with his rampage.
right,
And every time I think of bears,
what,
anytime anybody
right,
brings up bears, all I
right,
can
bears,
think
right.
of is that. That's all I can think of.
What is this? Now, what is this? This is what? What's it called?
It was a movie called Cocaine Bear. It
Oh, okay,
loosely
all right,
based off of a real story, and by
right,
loosely, I mean
right,
this bear is doing uncharacteristically different fucking things than what a bear would do in a situation. It's hilarious. It's got Ice
right.
Cube's son in it. It's not a great movie, but that line, that line, that scene where he's doing the line off of the severed limb is hilarious.
Right. Getting back to also one last thing on Loch Ness Monster. Yeah, they've sonared that lake a bunch of times. People who were really like, no, it's really here. It's really here. Somehow you only get the media coverage. You're like, yep, sonared the whole lake, found nothing. I mean, because this thing should be big.
Yeah.
So we'll just ignore that. Well, okay.
Okay, yeah. Yeah. See, I don't remember if we even covered anything like that because
Right.
we start these podcasts and by the end of them I get pretty blitzed. So sometimes I
Okay,
forget how we sum them up there. Yeah, but
are you getting high or are you doing
no,
booze?
I just drink. I don't smoke.
Okay.
Occasionally I
Right.
like the old edible or two, but I'm
Right.
generally a drinker. I've tried to
Okay.
slow down recently because I've been told by doctors, you're getting a little older, you should probably cut back a little bit.
Right.
And then in my head, I'm like, how dare you? But no, I mean, I like to think socially I'm a functioning alcoholic, and by me stumbling right there means obviously I'm not. So, yeah. But no, I don't smoke too often. I do drink.
Right.
I start drinking like right around when we first start,
Right.
and towards
What's your
the end of
poison
it,
there? What do you like? What's
I usually heavy on malt liquor. I've been trying to
okay?
trying to tone it down a little bit. So Coors Lights and Sierra Nevadas for me. That's
Okay.
a West Coast favorite.
Right. I'll see. What's
Yeah,
interesting out there? Okay.
yeah. It's Sierra Nevadas. We're near town Chico, and
Right.
it originated out there. Or
Yeah, I was out in Seattle a couple of years ago, so yeah, I liked it. So it was cool.
yeah,
I think right
there's a
around
lot
the
of cool
time
beers.
Nirvana was around. I think yeah, like I said, I did a West Coast trip around '94. I think yeah, Nirvana was just yeah,
Hmm.
Oh, by the
the
way,
music was pretty
actually,
cool.
that was another question I had. The beer that they're drinking, Zeke and his lackey, forget his name,
Right.
on the milk crate drinking. I forget what the beer brand is. Is that a real
All right.
beer brand?
Probably yeah. It was just the
I can't
New
remember what
England
it was
thing.
called.
Yeah. What did I write?
I do the same thing. I write like short stories and things, and I can't remember any of them until I start reading it, and it
So
just
and then you do know the joke. Hey, when did you write short stories? It's like,
oh
you write short stories? Yeah, when did you? Oh, once upon a time. That's a standard fucking dad joke. Yeah.
yeah the stand yeah that
Thank you. Right.
like I write a bunch of random things. So I was writing for which I chalk up as a short story, but it's actually me and Mike here are trying to start a graphic novel, and it's about a man in his 20s who's plagued by a demon that he has to feed souls to, and it's very like it has a very like nihilistic like tone to
Right.
it,
Who's
and
the
it's
graphic
just
guy? Who's doing the graphics?
we don't have a guy for that yet. We're currently we're working on that part. We're kind of just at
Right.
the beginning steps of it right now.
You
But
you could
it
try.
opens up with conversations. That's why I appreciated the way you opened up strange or high strangeness, like the way that it opened up. Is like I enjoyed that because it seems more realistic. And that's the way that it actually starts out. It's them talking about him and the demon that nobody else can see. It's a woman, and they're just like talking shit. There's a guy on the bus. There's like a very graphic scene about a man picking his bloody boogers while eating and sticking it in his mouth. He's like, they don't all whatever. He's like, well, maybe he deserves it. And it's just like a little hilarious banter back and forth.
So I
And
mean,
the
you
guys,
well,
oh, I'm
you
sorry, what?
could. So who's going to do the graphics? Because you've got AI, which could certainly pump
Yeah.
out something for you to just lay out, right? So
That's true.
and that
I
didn't
just
exist at all until a couple of years ago. You would have to hire somebody,
mm,
right?
I'm thinking we're trying to find maybe somebody that we actually know to do it, and that way because we have somebody physically that like the bouncy
Right,
ideas back and forth off with because this is our first time doing it. And me and him,
right,
me and Mike both have the same interests and the same art, not artists per se, but the writers. Is that how you say that for these graphic novels? We're both big Garth Ennis fans, and Garth Ennis
right,
And Neil Gaiman.
and Neil Gaiman. Garth Ennis though specifically, he like everything is like a dark humor, like very like
right,
black humor, like satirical everything. Like he's got his series Preacher, which it just bags on religion, Christian religion. I mean, the main guy's a preacher. He runs around with a vampire and his ex girlfriend. They're on a mission to find God, and it's just it's funny. It's a enjoyable ride the entire
right.
time. It's funny. It's
No,
very dark. You couldn't get away with it now because he wrote that
right.
back in 1999 to 2000. But yeah, so it's stuff like that. And then I'm writing like a fantasy reincarnation story, and it is high fantasy, but I'm trying to keep it as realistic as possible too. Dark humor, things like that. I'm really into dark humor.
Right. So I would recommend that. I did an animated book trailer for my first book, Artifice, and I found an artist on Fiverr, some dude, what the hell is this, Hungary or someplace, or one of those countries over there, who works way cheaper than an American artist, who's obviously whose cost of living is way higher than a Filipino or something. So yeah, there are good artists out there who work cheap. Yeah, so just outsource it. But yeah, I agree.
Okay.
It's nice. It's nice if you can actually have someone with you. But
Yeah,
are you
that's what we
paying
were
them, or
trying to
are
look
they?
for. It makes it easier when you have somebody that's like-minded.
Yes. Are they gonna stick with it? Are you paying them, or they're just gonna? Or it's one thing if they're like, oh yeah, this is great. I
Yeah,
don't
because
like.
we originally think of it just like a
Right.
fun project to do, and if we can
Right.
get something out of it, then we start
Right.
discussing that after. Makes it easier when you have a relationship with the people. That way, they're not feeling like they're being stiffed or anything like that.
Right. But yeah, you got AI. I mean, you could certainly come up with something if you just fed your novel into AI. Page by screen, it'll give you something. Are you
Yeah.
Mid Journey? Have you screwed with Mid Journey or what? Do
What
you
was
know
that?
what Mid Journey is? Mid Journey.
Oh,
It's a front end for AI for it's like Chat GPT for pictures.
ah,
OpenAI / Mid Journey, or it's just called Mid Journey, and it's designed to you tell it what picture you want, and it will give you, a picture.
yeah.
Uh, especially if you're just laying it out, it'll give you something to lay out. So if you wanted to show somebody, like, listen, okay, this is kind of roughly the idea I got. Yeah, because that's the hard part. You actually need all, in addition to writing this thing, you're gonna need the graphics, right? Which
Yeah,
is a bunch of
that's
work.
the one
Right.
key point we're
Yes.
lacking right now.
Right.
Yeah,
So takes a while.
yeah. But
Well,
it seems like we're out of time now.
Okay.
So
All
uh,
right. I made it.
it was nice having you on
it
here.
was, it was
Yeah.
really fun. It was really awesome.
Right.
You're a cool dude, man.
Yeah,
Thanks for reading the book.
this was a lot of fun. After
Right.
reading what I've read from your book, I can honestly say like this is exactly how I pictured it was going to be. Bullshitting about
Right.
this, a little bit of
Cool.
conspiracies, a little bit
All
of
right.
your novels.
Cool.
That's fun.
Why don't you tell our listeners where you could where they can find your stuff?
Yeah, just go to higherstrangeness.net. Yeah. Personal website is adeadguy.com. A dead guy. Yes. In that, but the joke there is it will be very funny in 20 years. Once it's like, really, he's dead, and he laid out. Yes, he's a dead guy who wrote a dead guy. You know, no one gives a shit about it now because I'm just walking around. Yeah, you suck because you're alive. But once you're dead, oh, he's so much better when he's dead. So yes, there you go. So yeah, those two. Higherstrangeness.net. Yeah.
I gotta ask you before you go to please do a Rodney Dangerfield impression of "Hey, we're all getting laid."
We're getting laid here. Oh, tough. Oh, my wife. We're getting laid here. Oh, let me say, we're getting my girlfriend. Oh, yeah. Try me some here. What are some good standard Rodney jokes here?
Well, we would love to have you on again.
Right,
we would.
cool. Yeah.
This is fun.
It'd be cool. Definitely after we read both the first and second book to have you on and discuss the second one.
All right. I have an idea for a third one. Well, if I get enough of you guys together, I'll have to come up with the highest strangeness. Yeah. And I'm thinking of maybe doing something like Contact, do like a satire of Contact. You know, the Contact movie with Jodie Foster, right? Yeah. Where Mel meets God or something like that. You know,
that would be hilarious. You got to get it on a divine level there.
just hammer on religion then on the third one maybe. Yeah, you know. Right. Cool. Thanks, guys, for I literally have not gotten a solid feedback on anything like you guys went over, and this is the first time I've ever heard a human being actually respond to what I've fucking written. So I'm just like, yay, it's nice. Well, maybe I'll keep going.
Thank you for creating it, you know, because it actually, it's been a joy to read, and I hope you make more works in the future as well.
I won't even tell you about the trek I might go into. So yeah, screw it. I want my money. I just But, yeah. So right, yeah. I'll have to come up with highest strangeness, and you'll be the first guys I'll send it to.
Awesome.
Right. That'd be awesome.
Cool.
All right. Well, it was good having you, and you have a good night.
Yeah, have a good night, man.
So you'll give me a link, and whenever this is done or up, you'll send it to me, right? So
yeah.
Oh yeah, definitely.
All right.
Hey, have a good one.
See you guys.